think for me, it gives away too much room to the opposition. I think it's probably
Yeah.
the way I'd put it, right? And by MOUZ NXT having their instant overpass, they've given Ecstatic Vertigo. And I mean, if you look statistically speaking, Vertigo is a brutal map whenever Ecstatic play. I mean, they are... Okay, don't get me wrong, MOUZ NXT, they're not bad on Vertigo at all by any means. They banned it yesterday, but of course, when you're against the one-win side who are very good at Vertigo themselves, understandable. But talk about today, right? Ecstatic being given Vertigo is such a big factor going into this. And of course, Dust 2 come up next. For MOUZ NXT, a strong map pick for them, but not that bad for Ecstatic either.
Yeah, and you know, sort of winding back down to that Vertigo pick that you were talking about, currently on a 4-map winning streak is Ecstatic, MOUZ NXT. They've played it 9 times. I do believe they've won 7 of them. It's not a terrible situation to be in, but their most recent map was a loss against Extra Soul. They did win 7 in a row before that, before getting knocked out through Malta Vibes against Furia, right? So, actually, if you want to forget the Extra Soul and Furia games, you know, they're undefeated on the map, but those games have been fairly one-sided. The guys have experience on it, but as you said, it's nowhere near to the religiousness that Ecstatic are playing at 2, and out on Dust 2 as well. MOUZ NXT, story is less experience, however, they have the higher percentages, right? They've played it 3 times, they've won all 3, and for Ecstatic, not quite holding the same face value, right? The MOUZ NXT side, as I said, undefeated on the map. For the boys, obviously, for the Danes over on the Ecstatic camp, things aren't particularly looking the same out on Dust 2. And to have Inferno as a decider, you know me, Neo, I do love an Inferno decider. I think all good best of 3s come down to Inferno. So, hey, man, I'm all for it. But I'm genuinely thinking there is just going to be a world in which we see 3 maps here. You know, it's so close between these 2 guys on the opening 2 that, I mean, you're banking on taking your own map.
Honestly, when it comes down to it, the big conversation has to be Dust 2, really. Because I think Vertigo, I think you'd be a fool to say that Ecstatic aren't just going to dominate it, right? I mean, don't get me wrong, MOUZ NXT aren't bad at Vertigo, but this Ecstatic side on Vertigo at times have looked like one of the best teams in the world at Vertigo. They're so good at playing it. They're methodical. They're very tactically deep when it comes down to it. And they're very good at breaking down sides, especially on when, for example, when MOUZ NXT go into their T side, they're going to really struggle to even get a bomb down, right? So this is going to be a part and parcel of how Ecstatic play their CT side on Vertigo. A very good team to watch. Exciting CSGO on Vertigo. You'd expect that Vert will go the way of Ecstatic, just statistically speaking as well. I mean, they played 30 times the last 3 months, right? That's a lot of times they've picked into it.
Yeah.
Goes back to what I was saying as well about having an insta-ban. You're giving your best map over towards Ecstatic. It's tough situations, but it comes down towards Dust 2, right? Yeah. If MOUZ NXT are able to fashion up a Dust 2, which granted is definitely not out of the conversation at all, then it goes to Inferno. Of course, as you mentioned, all best of 3s ended on Inferno. We saw the Boston Major in 2018. You know, that's just how things work, right? Yeah. But the thing is, Ecstatic, statistically speaking, they've played it a lot more times. So the veto, you'd have to say, ever so slightly favors the Ecstatic side. And to be perfectly honest, Ecstatic are the favorites coming into this. When we talk about HLTV ranking, general performance at the moment, MOUZ NXT, the ever so slight underdogs.
Don't forget, though, MOUZ NXT currently on a 4 best-of-3 winning streak, you know? True. And it's all through this tournament. Beat Phoenix 2-1, beat Gorillas 2-1, beat Harvu 2-1, and then probably the hardest lot of the competition, they actually 2-0'd off 1 win, which is what we saw yesterday, Neo. Ecstatic, on the flip side of things, did lose out to K23 not too long ago, the 5th in the FunSpark Ulti circuits. A little bit interesting. There's history, but we jump into the action of move into map 1 of Vertigo. And the history stands currently MOUZ NXT 2-0'd Lingby Vikings, of course, so-called back in the day. Mirage and Vertigo, they beat them on the 8th of the 7th. And then, of course, Pinnacle Fall Series 2, when they were still called Lingby Vikings, they actually took down MOUZ NXT in the Pinnacle Fall Series 2. So, a bit of history. MOUZ NXT have taken more maps, but they're even on series wins. So, a best of 3 within a best of 3. Who's going to come out on top?
Yeah, those Pinnacle odds as well were so close together. You see, that's the closest I've seen them. 1.83 to 1.99. In comes the Eternity now. JDC after a flying star. Finds out 4 and make that 2 as Wolffield 4. The CT's our pistol on is just destroying them already. What a start for the CT side. Left arms are 2. Bird from Sky and Dafu, and the bombs dropped.
The confidence that you need starting out on Vertigo is extreme. Bird from Sky taken to low. The spam is in. Are they going to lose a soul? Absolutely not. JDC denied anything more than 3, but they will take that freely as MOUZ NXT, of course, scooping up that all-important pistol. The best way to start you off here, Neo. And, of course, it's money in the bag. No bomb plant for Ecstatic. They're pinned down to probably, you know, the choice of do you want to force and then take the double eco, or do we eco, have a weak buy heading into round 3?
Well, stunning stuff. I mean, what a start. That's the perfect start MOUZ NXT needed. They're definitely no fools when it comes to Vertigo, but they've got a big task ahead of them, take down Ecstatic, and that's the start to give them a bit of confidence under their belt. And for Ecstatic, no bomb plan as well, leaves them in a tough spot. Just the Mach 10s coming out.
So, utility being dropped forward. Ecstatic not really willing to give or take any HP leads just yet. They're chilling, they're relaxing. They really are slowing down the pace. Something we didn't see from the pistol where they just ran into the jaws of JDC. So a bit of understandability now here, Neo, that slowing the pace, just chill out, relax, dialing thing down.
Yeah, nice and slow tempo. Going in towards mid as well. Mach 10's going to be trying to... A little fight against Xerxin here, but it should be pretty easy picking. Or say that, Fascia finds the trade.
Wow, that's good. And here we go. The pace starting to pick up a bit. You know, in competitive 4-on-3s, you've got to make sure things are going well. Trying to set that bomb down. Are they going to be giving it? Yes, so it's extra cash in the back pocket heading into round 3, Neo. How they use that, of course, is going to be determined by the outcome of this round. And, well, it is that all 3 players go down without a single frag. So we head into round 3, of course. MOUZ NXT 2-0 up. And yeah, things obviously going to be looking a bit different with the odds over at Pinnacle, right? As we move into this 3rd round, you know, we're structurally looking at this MOUZ NXT side. Yeah. Won the pistol, having won the 2nd round, you can see how quickly this odd shift, because this is the Ecstatic map pick.
Yeah, spot on. Exactly. This is the Ecstatic map pick. On a Vertigo to get a 2-0 start, it's pretty good sign so far, right? Already looking very confident in the way they're playing this. And for MOUZ NXT, some real positive signs looking forward. And I guess you get the better thing is that you look over towards Ecstatic and that economy looking worse for wear. They forced into the Mach 10s. And this time they're going to force into a hero AK on Fascia.
Drop forward. Wow. Lots of util. In fact, you know, just to try and silence, I guess, either side. The nades being dropped early. You can hear them rattling off towards B as well. A 2nd nade chucked into B. So, just about the timing. And the spacing in this round, of course, given Fascia's just gone for the hero AK. Everyone else on the pistols here, Neo.
Yeah, nice and slow. Right? Very slow in the way they want to play this. And, of course, Fascia coming through that hero AK, it's risky. And the question for him as well, he's normally one of those sort of hard entries, right? It's part and parcel of his play style. Does he want to risk not, you know, going in at first without using one of these pistols as cannon fodder, essentially?
But still, the disguised ramp push. They don't particularly know that these guys are so far up just yet. No clue what's going on, sort of the later parts of this round. Now the utils drop forward. A smoke in response from Xerxin, though. And I mean, look, this is going to catch a lot of these angles in isolation. Wolfie tries to jump up. Shui's head gets taken off. Not a bad start here for Ecstatic. Quickly traded out. Xerxin to double down, though. And now the M4 start to chime in. And it's beautiful, beautiful counter-strike from MOUZ NXT. And well, Dafu, he's going to try his best efforts to plant the bomb. Shane will catch him right through the smoke. So it's 3-0. Bomb plant denied in round 3 as well, Neo. So as we transition to round 4, it is that sort of eco from the previous few rounds. Time for you to invest and show what's up.
Yeah, this is the big time, and of course, we'll see how this one plays out. You saw the Pinnacle odds, but of course, you can head over to Pinnacle. Sign up using the code MOUZ21 at TED.GG/bet100 to find out more. 100% deposit bonus, up to €100 over at Pinnacle. 3-0 start, MOUZ NXT in the driver's seat, but this is the real first test, and it's not even really a bonus round because it's a full investment by MOUZ NXT with those M4 LNSs and that one AWP, of course, in the hands of Torzi. Let's see how they fare.
Well, a bit of a silent start. You know, no overzealousness maybe from the T side. It's Shui that takes the fight to middle. And a really nice opener. A 2nd shot connects from Torzi. And now I'm starting to get worried. You know, we're not just talking about, you know, your John De Castro from the pistol round. We're not just talking, you know, your Shui Shane combo that has done justice. Every single player now from MOUZ NXT starting to, you know, wind the gears up, you know, starting to pedal that a little bit more. And the traction is building. And in a buy round like this as well, where it is your map pick, you know, really is alarm bells ringing where you're not quite finding these man advantages.
It is. It's actually starting to get quite concerning for Ecstatic. They don't look awake in the server so far. Really worrying signs is that, of course, already that 2-man disadvantage. It's not the place to be in. Fascia, Manx, and Wolfie got a tough task ahead of them.
55 seconds. They've still got plenty of time to gain that traction back, but of course, you're fighting from that 2-man disadvantage. You've got to be punctual to the point. You can see the boost coming in as well, maybe on the short play. They're just waiting. Oh, Torzi, the timing. Wolfie's got a freebie, now a 4-on-3. Things a little more competitive. A double swing towards lane, though. Xerxin alongside Shui making things work, and the M4 went SO Xerxin. in for a second. Wolfie, 1-on-3. You did well to tie the numbers, but from there on out, I think it's all the NXT game as they have 4, or rather 3 remaining players, all with the M4s. 2 kills on Xerxen, looking to make it a third here as he jumps across, spotting out Wolfie and this Bliss. You know, you're not overextending. He peeks with the nade. Wolfie to move away with 10 seconds to go. This is a complete save. He's trying to bargain the AWP into round 5.
Yeah, they get spot in transitions as well. He's just getting hunted ever so slightly. Nearly gets caught by a couple of bullets on his way out, but I think he'll be able to keep this one taken across in towards that next round. A 4-0 start, though. Brilliant stuff. MOUZ NXT have obviously done their research because Ecstatic's defaults are being penalized immediately. The second they go for their standard mid takes, nothing working in their favor. They're trying to get Rab utility coming forward, immediately being shut down before they're even able to set it up. So it shows that MOUZ NXT have really figured out the weakness here in Ecstatic's game plan on Vertigo. They're going aggressive into the face of the T side and not giving them room to work with. And with a lack of space, Ecstatic can't set up properly.
Yeah, of course, and by the looks of things as well, right? I'm looking sort of towards the history. I checked the socials, everything. I don't think they have an analyst, right? It's just Cyclone,
you're correct.
Helm coach. He's the man to do it all in the background. And as you said, right, you can start to see MOUZ NXT piecing together the puzzle that they've seen from previous demos, reading into the Ecstatic guys on Vertigo. It was obvious, broad as daylight, that Ecstatic were going to try and punish pick the Vertigo. It is one of their strongest and most tenured maps, as you said. But actually, MOUZ NXT doing really well to dismiss it so far. But, you know, looking and having a wider scope in this game is that we're only 4 rounds in. You know, MOUZ NXT, yes, they've established the early lead, but we know what Ecstatic are like.
Yeah, like, let's not get ahead of ourselves, because we did that on Ancient yesterday at 13-2. I think we were pretty safe to say, yeah, I'll be done in a minute. It's fine, we'll get to Dust 2 afterwards. And that wasn't the case, right? So we're not going to get ahead of ourselves just yet, but you've got to say, you know, credit where credit's due. It's a really nice start. Ecstatic, looking lackluster and already taking a decent amount of nade damage. The Mac 10's leading the way forward and might be able to find one, exactly that. But answering back, Jawsy and Xerxen, one apiece. And a no-scope to add to his Fascia will fall. At least Wolfie all alone once again, this time in a 1 versus 4.
Wow. I don't know how MOUZ NXT turned it around. The no-scope from Torzy. They're looking for more. The flashbang, nowhere to be seen. But Wolfie just spamming for all galore. A 1-on-3 for him. Yes, he's got the HP. He's only got a flashbang and that Kevlar to work with, though. And we're looking at 5-0 here. And not only that, it's the eco afterwards, Neo, that's the collateral damage to Ecstatic. You know, we're looking more or less at a 6-0 scoreline. An outing on Vertigo, considering it's not your map pick, that's this strong on the get-go. You know, it takes quite a bit to topple.
Yeah, it's a 6-0, you know, if that, it could even go 7. The fact that they want to go for the double eco coming forward here, which they may even be sort of hesitant to do. They might try and go for a slight force here with the upgraded pistols coming through, and then off the back of that, try and see what they can find. Those pinnacle odds, though, getting more and more favourable over towards MOUZ NXT. 1.47 compared to 2.6. And you have to agree with them. A 5-0 start on CT side, forcing Ecstatic into an early tactical timeout. And there, of course, you see Bird from Sky desperately needing to find something on this T side.
Yeah, and you can tell this is the timeout where it's kind of like, oh my god, you know, like, we've got to listen close, because we didn't expect probably to take this early disadvantage. You can see some of these players, you know, maybe not visibly tired or anything like that. You think, you know, this is what, 1 hour ahead from us, so it's currently 4 p.m. The start of this game for these players. You know, it's still early in the evening. Everyone's going to be alert. Everyone's going to be ready, but maybe not as sharp as what MOUZ NXT are providing. You know, there's no doubt that these guys have done their own prep before the game, you know, going into your scrims or whatever it may be. But actually, it looks like MOUZ NXT trying to stay on top and, you know, combining the research alongside maybe the early hours practice, actually working out quite nicely for them heading into the matchup. It's 5-0 on your opponent's map pick.
Yeah, so far, so good, right? No complaints coming out here at all. 5-0 start, most likely case, you'd probably say a 6. Bird from Sky running through the smoke as well, trying to catch off the back of that sound cue. Or not going to work in his favor, and actually he's going to fall.
Crazy, man. Chewy early man advantage, and, you know, you have all these bodies on ramp and actually no trade for it. You know, you have 3 people sitting towards bottom ramp, and they're just going to give up that 5-on-4. They're absolutely doing so, and another kill, and there you go. This time maybe a little harder to trade as Xerxen backs away, but no one available to respond. And now you're in a 5-on-3. You're pinned down completely to a Galil, an AK, and an AWP with 2 smokes and 2 flashes to work with.
Yes, not the position you want to be in, of course. Still holding and waiting. We see them make their way up towards this ramp position. They've double stacked, though, into a sandbags. But I think if I'm right in saying the M4NS has just been spotted out there, that's going to be the case. Wolfie finds himself an opener. Surely they don't expect a second, though.
No, yeah, there you go. Wolfie back turn. 1, 2, 3.
Brilliant.
Chewy, ace performance from him in this round. It's a 4K, yes, but that is stellar trigger discipline and a really nice bait and switch from Xertion. As you picked up on there, why on earth would you expect a second person to be sitting in on Sam?
Yeah, why would you at all? Brilliant, brilliant stuff. But of course, well, we got this little interlude. We can mention our lovely partners like Hellcase. They've got a giveaway going for the Knockout Series 4. Go and check out that. Click that banner below the stream. You get some lovely skins like those laws that were on offer there. Perfect early Christmas present. You can't say no, huh?
Yeah, that's nice. Do I get a law? Can I?
I hope I would get one.
Yeah, yeah, maybe, man. If they're listening, I'd like. We'll have to try. Round 7, my friend, and you know we're in a similar situation 2 rounds ago. There's nothing really too much to add on to the storyline other than MOUZ NXT really showing what's up. Nice flash to get things going though, and a bit of a test that Shane will pass. Maybe not with flying colours, but a 2-for-1 more than appropriate to the overwhelming factor of the pistols. Dafu, he'll claim a second soul in this round. It is a 1-on-3 at the end of the day, and I don't really have too much faith in the 26 HP Deagle half armor setup that he's rocking. Does find a bit of a tag onto Xertion, but a tag, not a frag. And 7-0. We have played 7 rounds of CS. MOUZ NXT have stormed in front on their outing of Vertigo.
Yeah, they're absolutely stomping it. 7-0. I mean, what a start. On CT side of Vertigo, and this is worrying. Ecstatic don't seem alive. This is not the same Ecstatic that we saw, you know, win Pinnacle 4 series, for example, recently. You know, get a, upper side of the 20s in terms of their ranking in HLTV, really putting up stellar performances consistently. This is not that same side. They are being completely dismantled so far, and credit where credit's due towards MOUZ NXT because they've read them like a book, and it goes back to what I was saying. That CT side aggression is not giving Ecstatic the room that they usually have to work with.
So, aggressive ramp play. Ecstatic none the wiser to it as of right now. Smoke towards ramp giving minimal opportunity to have a little read into this one, Neo. So, you know, you're a rabbit in the headlights right now. All eyes on you. And when I say you, it's this AWP of Wolfie. He's got to be cautious. Torzy, his head, I think, just spotted over the top of the sandbag. Great molly. Shui's going to throw the smoke for ramp as well. So, actually, a bit of a fight being shown towards ramp early doors here. You know, both teams trying to lob their utility to take this control.
And so far, so good, right? Everything's actually in a bit of a driver's seat where they're actively fighting for this ramp control. It's much better from Ecstatic as well, because what they've done, they've realized that MOUZ NXT are going hyper-aggressive to try and cut down their space. So they've gone passive to give them the space to work with and then fight off the back of it.
45 seconds, flashes up, Bird from Sky has already lunged towards the site, and in fact, you know, this whole site's clear. No one's cleared lane just yet. Torzy, he'll be lying and waiting with the AWP. First shot connects. Problem is, of course, you're now in isolation, your position spotted, but he somehow finds a second. He stays alive. JDC falls. The lane player still kicking, though. Missed shot from Torzy, but he's going to tuck away into cover, expecting a third man to come from lane, and he's just correct. Torzy is a god to his own game. Wolfie to keep them afloat. It's Shane and Xertion in a 2-on-2, but the AWP quickly drops. 21 points of health on Bird from Sky. He's got to pick up the bomb and set it down in 8 seconds to go, and it's just not happening. A stellar performance from Torzy, and it does deliver. MOUZ NXT 8-0, and it's on Ecstatic's map pick.
That is all Torzy again. What a round from him. That second shot as well, that's reactionary. That's just a presumptuous show where he's trying to just hope someone's in that position, and he finds it. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And we speak about isolating Jules, right? Essentially, he was playing that like a 1 versus 3, and he isolated it absolutely perfectly. I mean, what a performance we've seen so far from MOUZ NXT. Stunning. Consistency is key, and it goes back to that aggression that I've been saying time and time again. They've catered a game plan here against Ecstatic, and it's working absolutely brilliantly. And let's take a look at this again. Torzy finds that first. Molotov drop, but this shot here, I mean, how Flasher doesn't find him, that's just credit where credit's due.
And he finds a third afterwards as well, right? Like, a 1-for-1 is great. A 2-for-1, do you know what? It's acceptable. You can work with it. But the fact that he finds 3 in that round as well, it's just impressive that, you know, you take down 300 HP's worth of players for the cost of your 100. That's the equivalent factor in this round. And of course,
exactly,
that's what drove MOUZ NXT to an 8th. You know, had he have only found one, that would have been a 4-on-2 post plant out of the hands of MOUZ NXT. And one player has made that difference. Round 9, and it is no different. It is just an all-out eco for Ecstatic. You've invested where you can. You've got a couple of upgrades, deagles, armor, what have you. At the end of the day, though, you have been trumped by this sheer investment from MOUZ NXT. 8-0, you've carried this AWP through for so many rounds. You've got an AK, you've got 3 M4s to bring home as well. This is it. The B executes out. Smoke up close for Shane. Can he find anything? Well, he dips into the smoke. JDC caught blind, but it doesn't stop him finding one. But from Sky will trade. However, the Mac 10 good for a second. And the AWP actually now has to turn up. Torzy going to find a leg shot to Wolfie. Pulls out the pistol. Good for 1.5. And well, there you go. Shuey with the swing. And it's a team ace for MOUZ NXT. 9-0.
Brilliant. This is just a stellar performance. You know, I was saying in the veto, this should be a map which is easily closed out for Ecstatic, but MOUZ NXT, this is a different breed, a different side, both ways. It's a different Ecstatic as well. This is not the same Ecstatic we normally see dominate on Vertigo. When you looked at this one on paper as well, for example, Ecstatic played this map 30 times in the last 3 months with an 83% win rate. I mean, you'd be a fool to say that MOUZ have only played this 9 times, should be able to take down this sort of side, but, I mean, this is just being stellar. Absolutely stunning performance. Flash coming through, JDC can be called out by a burst from Sky, trying to be a nuisance in towards mid, but that take is significantly slower once again.
You said, the pace, screeching hole, Ecstatic realizing, hold on a minute, you know, this isn't just a time for us to try and establish a lead. This is a time for us to try and salvage a very poor half of Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
Nice molly. Really nice molly, actually. Shuey has to run through it. Takes an extensive amount of damage, but here you have it. Torzy on ramp 1 and 2. Looking for the third as well. Bird from Sky having a look around the smoke, but you just aren't quick enough to Torzy. A triple for him. The AWP sets up Supreme. And Dafu, 1-on-5. It is textbook Counter-Strike being brought forward from the NXT boys. And, well, you know, the youth side just seems to be like the team that has more experience, at least to what the naked eye sees.
Yeah, I mean, oh, wow. This is not what the script said, right? I mean, MOUZ NXT should not be able to take down Ecstatic on this sort of map pick, but so far, they're going to put a 10-0 scoreline. Dafu left all alone in a 1 versus 5. Bomb dropped. 35 seconds to work with. This is already done. The numbers up. Shuey boosted up into such a weird off angle, but actually read into. Doesn't matter. Shuey comes out on top, and just like that, flawless round. Another flawless round for MOUZ NXT. 10-0. What a performance from the MOUZ Academy roster. I mean, this is stunning. They're taking out Ecstatic. On paper, we already said about how great they are, but they're ranked 20th in the world. And they're making it look so easy. I mean, it's just brilliant. And it's another Torzy masterclass. Another 3K to his name. We said this might be the battle of the AWPers, but it's no fight at all. It's boys versus men out there.
And if you have a talk with any of the players that currently reside within the top 30, you know, you'll hear how hard it is to grind through those rankings. I mean, when you're sort of, you know, your 100th to sort of 50th, you know, one of these events, a good run can jump you up a lot of rankings. But, you know, it's not just the placing, it's consistent placing as well. And so Ecstatic being 20th in the world is by no stretch something that we see is, you know, deserved. They have been performing amazingly. But as you said, MOUZ NXT look leaps and bounds above this Ecstatic side today.
100%.
Flash going to be dropped in towards lane. You know, while I've talked through this, Shuey and Bird from Sky both dropped from the round. It is still a 4-on-4. It's probably the most competitive 4-on-4 we're going to see so far in this half. How well do MOUZ NXT respond? Well, Torzy gets tagged from lane. Xertion to go aggressive. 1-2. Oh, and it's nearly a third. Wolfie, 11 points of health. Shane biting his tongue, waiting for his opportunity to strike. And it's Torzy's wall bank to deny the plant. Fasher 1-on-3. Surely you know at this point that the last player is coming from lane. JDC boosted, unexpected on the angle, and it is 11-0.
The masterclass, textbook, how to play CT side Vertigo against Ecstatic. MOUZ NXT, on another level. And look at those pinnacle odds again, 1.25 to 3.92. They're getting further and further away. But of course, as we said, you can sign up using the code Malta21 at ted.gg/ just bet 100. 100% deposit bonus up to €100 when you sign up. Stunning, absolutely stunning. Ecstatic, a full buy coming out, but at this point, the story's been done and said. It seems to be, you know, an AWP coming out for Wolfie, but no one seems to be able to even touch Torzy so far.
Wow. Everybody util being dropped forward. The B play, I think, at least somewhat attempted to be retained by Ecstatic. Shuey in the meantime, because why not? He's found a kill towards ramp, and Ecstatic can't seem to weigh in or measure how MOUZ NXT are doing on ramp. You know, so many times we've seen the man advantage is established with the ramp rush. The man advantage is established just with the plays in general.
Brilliant.
And another frag that's left unresponsive. Yes, Mank's found a kill elsewhere across the board, but it's so much A control given to MOUZ NXT that Ecstatic squeezed in towards B.
Cyclone is on his research. I mean, he's been heralded time and time again by this MOUZ NXT side as the master behind their game plans. You can see why. This is brilliant. Ecstatic, every plan they're trying to foil here is being foiled, and Manx will fall. The boost is brilliant. Left down to 2. It's Wolfie and Daffy left with a lot to do. But I say that, it's actually in the 3 versus 2. The flank coming forward, though, could deny everything, and it is going to be exactly that. Xertion from behind nets his 16th frag of the game so far. As is a 12-0 scoreline. Ryan, what are we seeing?
I'm speechless. I'm honestly, you know, I've had so much faith in MOUZ NXT roster. You know, when we look at the roster individually from sort of the path that they took, you know, you want to talk about the transfer, of course, JDC and Xertion being signed on. JDC previously with the Unicorns of Love side. You know, Shuyi and Shane, the boys from Izako Boars, they're looking crisp as the only polls on this side. And actually, you know, when you've pieced it all together with acquiring Torzi from Budapest 5, you know, so much individual raw talent. And you're just being displayed this now. It's Bliss Counter-Strike. It really, really is. 12-0, it is a 5-on-4. Finally, that man advantage securely established by Ecstatic. But don't rule MOUZ NXT out of this one just yet. Torzi goes aggressive, pulls out his pistol at the wrong time. It's a 5-on-3, a true test for the NXT boys.
Let's see what they can do. 5-on-3, the first time in a while, or ever, we've seen so far. Ecstatic on an advantage, but immediately brought back to 3 versus 3. There we go. Trey coming forward, Bird from Sky, dropping out Shuhi, who's gifted a free double. It's all out to Fasha, trying to win out this fight. He will do so, leaving JDC all alone. 1 versus 3 to deny a first round on the board for Ecstatic.
What better man to have in this situation than JDC himself? As you mentioned, a support player. And I think I've even called him before the tier 2 Zipnix. Not meant to be this time. Daffy's caught the rotation through middle, but, you know, matchup has been, right? Give or take, Ecstatic have lost some quite unfortunate rounds. But when you're losing 15-1 on your own outing, as you said, a birthday present for obviously Mr. Wolfie, he would have expected maybe a bit of a nicer start to his series. I guess, all the best for them heading into map 2, but as you can see, the bye so much better for that MOUZ NXT side to make it 16-1. The most dominant outing we will see from this MOUZ NXT side here on Vertigo in the history of this team. And of course, it all boils down to this round here. If they can find it, it's grand. If not, it's actually still very much possible. Nice first shot. Torzy, he'll find the first. Now just about, I guess, extending this lead, right? Just finding the advantages, finding the ways to hinder Ecstatic even more so. The best performance they've had is 16-2 against Young Ninjas back on the 19th of October. We are now in the 8th of December, and we might just witness a 16-1.
Yeah, this might even be the best result. I'm pretty sure there's not been a 16-0, not in this tournament, and maybe not in any of the Malta vibes. This could really be the best result we see, a 16-1. If they're able to do so, of course, all down to this round here. 15-1 currently signed, man advantage collected, and JDC looking for a bit of information. Zershing going to be boosted up in towards Wood, but the sound cues have definitely been heard here. They're waiting for the utilities to come forward, and from below, adding to the tally as Dafu adds 2, but Torzy and Shuhei combine.
Well, here you go, Bert from Sky to try and show some resistance. Fasher 1 on 3, and he's found 2 already. Rallin heads out on ramp as it's down to Shane. But what better man to step up in this situation? Yes, bomb in hand for that side, but it seems to be the aim duel going to be taken here. Fasher swings in, but Shane's got the line. The last time Ecstatic lost more than 3 rounds has been never. The harshest defeat was against Eternal Fire in November, and they have been slaughtered by MOUZ NXT.
Slaughtered, I think, is putting it kindly. Of course, you see Cyclone there, and Shuhei as well, the 2 brains of this side, supporting the Brawn, and I mean, they did exactly what they needed to do. They have perfectly read how to play against Ecstatic on Vertigo, and that is as textbook as it gets. The 1 round Ecstatic pick, by the skin of their teeth, they were able to find it. What a performance, 16-1. I mean, that makes up for our triple overtime yesterday when we covered MOUZ NXT. They knew they kept us there for the marathon. It's like, lads, we'll get back your time. Team 1 on our opponent's map pick, and now they're heading towards Dust 2. What a performance.
When we moved into a matchup like this, when it is Ecstatic's map pick, I literally address this situation with, I don't see a world in which and the one to win. You've really got to show your mettle here if you're Ecstatic. Not only, of course, do you have to win this map, you then have to take it to the decider to win the entire series. So some serious effort needs to be put in. The shift needs to be there. And of course, we said all good best of threes end on Inferno with the thought of ending on Inferno. But actually, MOUZ NXT yet to be defeated here on Dust. So what does that say for Ecstatic? We'll have to find out.
Yeah, of course, MOUZ NXT starting on that T-side. T-side Dust 2 at times can be quite difficult to carve a game plan into. But we're speaking about game plans. It all seems to be going the way of the MOUZ side so far.
Absolutely so. Waiting. Patience. Play out. They've got 2 lurk smokes towards middle. It is the B pop. JDC first to fall. Bird from Sky for a double. USP tapping away. Shui though, he's caught 2 off guard. It is a nice trade from the mid position. Nice from Dafu to find another. Torzy from B with it all on the plate. He has found 1, but 1 is enough. Ecstatic, they'll take their 2nd round of this series and the first in Dust 2.
Wow. That's the start they needed. To turn things around, desperately needed a first round in the pistol to at least kickstart a bit of momentum. That's something they could not find at all. They could barely find anything, just to be honest, in Vertigo. But at least now they're going to have somewhat of a secure buy coming through. And the biggest thing, as you mentioned, is the denial of a bomb plant coming through, which means that for the MOUZ NXT side, a full investment coming through, but it's not much of an investment. 1 Scout, 1 Galil, upgraded pistols. But as tag to keep them started isn't the worst.
What they do with it here, you know, we're all too used to Ecstatic finding these cheeky little advantages or whatever it may be, and actually from there it just spirals into complete anarchy. And you can see Ecstatic doing well to hold on to the control in this round. They're not really, you know, going for anything too serious. They're just chilling. They're taking their time on whatever they can, just getting the feelers out because they know Ecstatic, you know, they are going to be tested in this series. They've just got to be cautious for it. No damage done by the Seaside zone.
Holding and waiting. Wolfie, couple of pop shots, fires the first, but only 1 in fact. Torzy. Wallbang connects. Wolfie will fall. That's M4 on S out of commission, and now Torzy gets the control over towards the A side, trying to reposition to give him a bit of a ruse to work with. If he can get over towards ramp as well, Bird from Sky surely to fall too, but not going to be the case. Reactionary, brilliant shot, 2-0. At least a much better start. Already more rounds than they got in the entirety of Vertigo, so you got to say, good start.
Yeah, really, really nice start. How they do with it, of course, the greater responsibility. You know, you can run away with the lead early. Will MOUZ NXT be able to catch you out on Dust 2? Absolutely so. You know, they're used to starting on this T side. They love picking it into teams. You know, even though maybe it isn't the best rehearsed map for them. You know, when you look to the history of this side, they're Dust 2 all 3 times, played against Navi Junior in the We Play Academy League, and they picked it against Lingby Vikings in the Pinnacle 4 Series, beat them 16-12. But enough of the history, to here and now. And Shane, he's here and now with the Eagle.
Yeah, brilliant shot to kickstart things, but Shuhi gonna fall, but he's back to a 4 versus 4, and the firepower for Ecstatic in this sort of round should be enough for them to put a 3rd on the board. It should be. I'm not going to say it's a definite, because we've already seen a very good start with that lovely Eagle shot from Shane, but MOUZ NXT, they've still got not a lot to work with here.
Absolutely. Spam is wild. Are just continuing to hammer home and see what they can deliver here, Neo. Just taking their time. Responsibility in this round, of course, is merely just to push the payload, maybe to get a bomb plant, you know, find a couple of kills, which, you know, has been somewhat successful. Maybe only the 1 in this round, but hey, 1 is better than none. Move into round 4 with the full buy. And, well, you know, drawing back to the last time these 2 teams played out on Dust 2, as I said, 16-12. MOUZ NXT started on that T side once more. They did, in fact, go 5-1 down and still managed to take the game 16-12. So, you know, we're accustomed to a comeback from MOUZ NXT in this exact scenario as well.
See how this one plays out. 3-0, though, and this is the full buy, the first full test as well. As the AWP of Torzy spots 1, but falls away. Now, double stack over towards B. As the bomb is slowly making its way into those tunnels. Now, Torzy essentially just going to hold for rotates. Hold to catch players in transition who are a little bit too overzealous. And this is the thing for Ecstatic. Now that they've finally found rounds, they might start to get a little bit overconfident.
Bam coming out. Trying to test, I think, here, Neo. You know, nothing more than it. Molotovs being dropped in. Smoke towards deep short. So they're doing well to resume the control. Really taking their time. Using as much as they can to, I guess, hone in on pressure, maybe the Ecstatic side to draw out the utility and just trying to play things for the late round.
Yeah, here's the way to do it as well. We'll see they're making their way up towards shore. Xerxin holding, waiting. He's leading the charge. Flashpound giving a bit of room to work with. Can clear the close angle, spotting one in fact, and Flash takes a little bit of damage. And already MOUZ NXT got a good amount of control with 50 seconds to work with.
Flash is brought forward. Dafu, he's going to spot whether he can connect though. JDC, he'll actually find the opening bit of damage, but it's Torzi to trade. 1-for-1. Famas is in. M4 Bird from Sky and Fasher. Torzi in a 1-on-4. Still good for 2 though. Bomb in hand. Going to try and punch in the digits. Do Ecstatic go charging forward? No, not yet. Instead, waiting for the post-blood. He finds 1. Oh, it's a trade. Bird from Sky. Had he have missed just 2 more bullets, he would have had enough time to pull off the trigger once more. But it is Ecstatic up to 4. They have taken the early lead, but 4 casualties plus a bomb plant. MOUZ NXT aren't exactly down and out for the count just yet.
No, they made it expensive. I mean, Torzi individually brilliant. Again, a quad kill from him in that sort of round. Fantastic, sublime. MOUZ NXT unable to add 1 to their tally, though, in terms of rounds. A 4-0 start, and for Ecstatic, this is already significantly better than what we saw on Vertigo. They started to control the tempo a little bit. The question is, how far can this go? We'll have to take a look and see. And I know AWP picked up by Torzi again. Supported by the AKs. Back to a full reset. But the double up setup for Ecstatic should be interesting.
So, round 5. Molly burning within it. Torzi, I think he was screaming for a flashbang, just asking, you know, guys, what's going on? I need that little bit of utility to help me try and take the peak. Has taken the early damage. Manx missed shot towards middle as well. The double up setup already brought forward for Ecstatic. Not quite displaying potency, just...
Yeah, it is a little bit slower as we speak, right? I think MOUZ NXT, they know that they need to be able to isolate these fights and they want to find that man advantage. That's when they start to thrive. That man advantage gives them so much room to work with. At the moment, they don't have that room itself. So, very slow in the tempo, trying to break down exactly how Ecstatic are set up on their CT side, which so far is quite defaulted, really. The only thing that's a little bit variant is very little mid-control.
Dead right. Slow down that pace again, that MOUZ NXT side. Understandably so, they are just trying to chill with it. Just really slowing down that tempo, showing absolutely nothing to them just yet. And that's time from Ahinio, just establishing, I guess, a recovery for a 5-on-5. You have lost the early leads within.
Oh, okay, though. That is a nice little swing. JDC finds Fasher. A dink coming towards a self-dink, in fact, and it's Bird from Sky and Wolfie adding 1 apiece. Torzi will at least bring it back to a level standing, but he's taking significant damage from that early Molotov.
Worrying. Look, all this spam coming through. They've got to be cautious for it. Really are taking their time. Bomb set down at least, so 2-on-3. Now the power back in MOUZ NXT's hands. They know they've got to play for the retake. JDC 14 points of health. Shane sitting just at around 50. Flash over the top. Won't find anything just yet. JDC finds 1. 1 might be enough because Shane, high HP at the 2. Bird from Sky got it covered. 5-0 the lead, and Ecstatic, you know, when we're in situations like this, it's a very close round once more. But another bomb plant, another set of damage, and another round in which MOUZ NXT can learn from. Ecstatic 5-0 up, displaying the same dominant signs that we saw from MOUZ NXT out in Vertigo.
Yeah, absolutely spot on. Look at those pinnacle odds as well. I mean, they are looking fantastic. They're starting to really become even once again, which is already, I mean, I guess you could say, right, already in a very good standing. 5-0, everything looking good if you're Ecstatic. And Pinnacle are great, right? Things are looking good for them. But the question is now, how do MOUZ NXT bounce back? They're still going to be able to pick up a full buy. The AK is coming through, a bit of utility as well. All in all, you can't really make too much of a complaint from MOUZ NXT. But even with these full buys, they're struggling to find control early doors, which is the biggest thing for them on Vertigo. You saw early they were able to find control of the map. And it's Fash already getting off to a fantastic start, finding 1. Daffy through the smoke, full blind. 2 to his tally, and MOUZ NXT has been shipped away.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful Counter-Strike being played by Ecstatic. 1 casualty in this round. MOUZ NXT did go for an investment. Doesn't quite pay off. It's 6-0. You know, I mentioned last time it was a 5-1 deficit that MOUZ NXT closed the map out on. This time, I think the conditions have changed. Ecstatic now know that there's a fire beneath them. They've got to win this matchup. They've got to show what's going on. Are we going to see it happen? We'll see the replay, of course, brought by Pinnacle. And, you know, really excellent Counter-Strike being played by Dafu. Getting 2 kills here, getting the reload off, and, you know, peeking back in cohesion with his fallen teammate of Bird from Sky. Undefeatable, it seems.
Yeah, so far, so good. Missed shot in towards mid. As Manx is already in a bit of a worrisome spot. Shot through the door, not quite connecting either. Flashbang is just going to fall away. The smart way to play it.
Nothing more than it. Nice from mid. Shane's Deagle cracks the head of Bird from Sky. A 5-on-4. The man advantage established here, Neo. Not quite brought forward from it, though. We'll have to wait and see if they can do so. Seconds winding down. I guess now just trying to make that CT side panic a little bit more.
See what they can find. Flashbang coming through. Will actually catch Manx. He's going to hold nice and open. Shot will connect on towards JDC as he dropped to 73, but so far, still only a 1-man advantage for the CT side as Dafu will reposition towards mid and Manx will add to his tally as Zershin drops out of the equation.
Well played, Dafu. But for the timing, Wolfie, he's found the mark as well. 4-on-2 situation. Neo quite quickly spirals out of hand here, and I think it's safe to say this is going to be another round in the favor of Ecstatic here. Any damage is good. Chewy missed shot with the scout. The other scout, of course, being Shane, taken down by the AWP as well. So it is 7-0. It's a single casualty, and it is a great start to the CT side here from Ecstatic. 7-0, you know, same sort of vibes as map 1, where we saw MOUZ NXT demolish Ecstatic.
Yeah, absolutely stunning. And of course, you can check out all the partners at Pinnacle. 100% deposit bonus up to €100 when you sign up using the code Malta21 over at ted.gg/bet 100. Stunning stuff. 7-0. It's exactly how we saw MOUZ NXT get off this perfect start on Vertigo, right? Brilliant, taking control, dictating the rounds in their favor, really displaying the prowess of their playstyle. But then you look towards MOUZ NXT, a timeout is desperately needed here. Also, it goes back to the other side of things, what we were saying in the veto earlier, when we said that Ecstatic won the veto. Vertigo, a map which probably should have gone their way, definitely didn't. Dust 2, a map which, again, Ecstatic aren't too bad on, and MOUZ NXT, for the most part, are relatively untested on. And we could look about map number 3, and statistically speaking, Ecstatic, again, the much better side on it. And this is where we started to see this sort of lack of playtime on Dust 2 really come into fruition for MOUZ NXT, because they're really struggling to find control. Off the back of it, the biggest thing is they're just struggling to find that opening kill.
More than just a worrisome pie. This is now starting to maybe hit the panic button. Nicely done. Dafu finds the opener. Once again, solidifying the advantages, making sure that this side just doesn't get any lead whatsoever. Situation. Molly's just going to try and burn, tick away, do what they can. Taking their time. It's 7-0. It's a 5-on-4, and it's the buy round already at disadvantage here for MOUZ NXT.
Yeah, I mean, again, you look at the way in which MOUZ NXT have played this, the lack of control, and now, of course, the lack of that man advantage, the tough position to be in so far. With 7-0 on the cards, this could be Ecstatic win in the half flawlessly, which is exactly what we saw in our first map, but we didn't expect to see a repeat.
Not. Really slow pace taken, and if I'm honest, the storyline tells exactly, you know, the signs maybe of the map trade and in the similar fashion. 16-1 on Vertigo, 1-16 maybe on Dust 2. We'll have to wait and see. MOUZ NXT, you know, it's still early doors. We gave the respect to Ecstatic, saying, you know, they still have the chance to get back into things. We've just got to see the same equivalent, basically, from MOUZ NXT here. They've got to be able to respond where it matters most.
Making their way up short as well. They're trying to make their way forward, but Wolfie going to be untested so far, and of course, no utility to block his view. Easy picking. Shuhei falls. The M4S has 1. Make that 2 to the tally. Another flawless round for Ecstatic as they win out the half 8-0 in very, very comfortable fashion. And again, you look at those odds, they're getting so close now. It's to the point, in fact, where Ecstatic could start to flip them.
Oh, absolutely. Diving into round 9. No difference to 8-7-6, where it is demolishing that C side of MOUZ NXT. And do you know what? I wouldn't even say it's just up to individual skill at this point. I think they are just outclassing them here. And that is a slight worry. This round, fast pace, Shuey out towards long. Tech9 trying to go berserk through the smoke. Won't find much. Instead, M4A1S to find the first. Fasher to silence the second. And now, of course, in turn, it gets a bit worrying because, of course, now 5-on-3, and you still found no traction on Nico. Just trying to find the damage here, and they just can't.
I mean, this is just a pistol round, right, for MOUZ NXT. I guess, again, it's still trying to find their footing, which they really haven't at all. Easy kill? Easy kill. Zertian finds Dafu, waiting, lining up, seeing if anyone else is around here. Now, they've got the B site, and statistically speaking as well, the B site is the hardest site to retake in competitive CSGO at the moment. So already signs looking good. Boost coming forward as well. Should be able to net themselves at least one here, but it's not. Wolfie's read into that brilliantly.
That's absurd. I don't know how he's done it, but he has done it. 4-on-2. You know, even when there is a 4-on-2 situation like this, sometimes the defenders of the site can hold on, but with the utility being used, it is very, very hard. Shane, 1-on-4. Deagle finds the mark, some damage, doesn't find any kills. Fashra, Bird from Sky, Wolfie, all sub 20. But just not quite finding the mark. It's Ecstatic up to 9.
9-0. Hey, I thought Vertigo was the only time we were going to see a one-sided map. I mean, this is ridiculous. Now, of course, we see the other side of things where Ecstatic are just running riot. And we could see completely polar scores here from two different sides on two different maps. I mean, how often do you ever see that?
Yeah. You don't. You really, really don't.
Also, as well, makes map number 3 of Inferno all the more exciting if that even gets there.
Oh, yeah, more than A. Of course, looking into this round, they're trying to see what's up, looking for maybe the opportunity to exploit. See the fight taken towards long. Static, in all the respect in the world. Taking their time, man. No need to send it in, I guess, there. You know, you can absolutely chill. No need to extend. No need to rush into these advantages. So for now, given the long control, you've got the AWP posted up. Just about the timing.
Oh, brilliant. What? Easy, Shane. Lovely, got a shot there, and Shane might be able to add more to his tally. Flash coming forward, though, trying to fall away, and Bird from Sky is not going to give him the ability to do so. Shane will fall, back to the 4 versus 4, but they're going to completely reposition over towards this upper B area now. It's actually only one person positioned here. They might be able to overwhelm them.
Well, they're going to give it a good stab at it. The AK of Shui not going to quite find the mark. It's the AWP on long, as anticipated, that would tear them down. Molly dropped in. Oh, Torzi out towards B's found one. Now maybe a little more worrying, Neo. You know, you're starting to see the cogs turn a little bit. They're trying to get that pressure up. Torzi to set the bomb down. So actually this retake, the all-important one.
Vita trying to make his way forward. Searching for some Molotov. In fact, this becomes worrisome to say the least. Down to just JDC and Torzi to keep the dream alive. The dynamic duo need to come alive now. Torzi holding, but he gets deleted in the making. Fasher, what a swing. We sung his praises as being the MVP. Rifle only adds another to his tally. What a round. What a retake. 10-0 Ecstatic. The CS gods have come alive, getting into Dust 2 for them, because they are really running riot. 10-0, Ryan. What a performance we're starting to see here. And MOUZ NXT are being completely well and truly annihilated.
What can you do? You know, when things are looking as dire as this, you know, MOUZ NXT, not exactly the most inexperienced team here, but actually, you know, yeah. You don't really know what to do at this point. You know, when last time it wasn't as one-sided, but they still got off to a good start. This is not a good start. This is a slaughtering. Just like Vertigo. They know exactly how it feels now.
Yeah, they do, and Fasher adds one more to his tally. Bird from Sky might be able to cause some ruckus. Not going to be the case, though. It's Shuhi and JDC combining, giving for the first time in maybe ever on this map a man advantage.
Round 11, minute and 30 to go. Still plenty of time for MOUZ NXT to weigh up their options, of course. You know, you've got that single AWP setup. You've still got 3 AKs accompanying. The utility isn't great, but it's manageable. Ecstatic, though. You know, you've got Dafu, who has performed big time on B so far. And once again, showing what's up. He's going to find a kill. Not quite dropping a smoke. Shui in. Dafu finds a second. There were 2-on-2. Kept competitive by the Ecstatic boys. Smoke going to be dropped for the cross. Wolfie, his vision basically eradicated. Bomb will be set down. Torzi's AWP, JDC's AK, and a retake for this T side. Really nice util being dropped forward here just to deny the window peek. JDC up close, he'll find one, and it just seems to be maybe they can get on the board as Max in a 1-on-2. The Deagle finds one, has got a smoke to drop it forward. Torzy thinking about the peak, and he's actually turned away, back and forth. They don't know who's where. Mank's still jumping around. He's going to hear the audio cue. Surely Torzy's got this round. The stick's in, and MOUZ NXT, the first on the board.
Yeah, brilliant shot there. Finally, we see MOUZ NXT get off the board. Back to a 9-round deficit. Hey, not the end of the world. Improbable, to say the least. And look at those odds. These are as close as it was when we were kickstarting things in towards this series. You're saying these two teams are so evenly matched. That's a prime example of it, of course. 100 deposit bonus up to €100. I'm using the code Malta21. TED.GG4, just bet 100 for that.
So here we are. We are into round 12, where actually we have a round on the board for MOUZ NXT. It has come later than that, of course, of the Ecstatic round that they got out on the other round. Or on the other map, excuse me. But hey, man, you know, still possible to turn things around. Nice flash on short. Xerxan has taken this lead, trying to, I guess, guide MOUZ NXT being at the man deficit. How they work with it, though. Bomb drops on short. 3 players now made 4. All going to come from this angle.
It's possible, but it does seem improbable. Making their way forward, though. Over towards short. They're going for the full commitment here. 2 still stayed over towards B as well. This A-take going to need a rotate coming through momentarily. It's a bit big to utility come forward. Xerxan dropped as well, trying to fall in towards CT, and Birth from Sky not going to give him the allowance to do so.
Spam's wild. Smoke going to be deployed. AWP, back plat. Patiently waiting for the opportunity to strike, and well, that it has a second frag. Dafu and Manx a third. It is just pieced up to perfection. And Ecstatic, it's 11-1. All the ones on the board, because MOUZ NXT is still stuck with the singular. It is Ecstatic running away with the map pick of MOUZ NXT. I don't know what's going on, man. The map trade is insane.
Yeah, imagine this is another 16-1. I mean, that'll be the answer that we definitely didn't expect at all. I mean, so far, still definitely a possibility. 11-1 scoreline, a 10-round lead. Brilliant stuff, it has to be said. This is just stunning. And MOUZ NXT now worrisome signs. They're back to another eco where we just see the upgraded pistols come through, and some of them not even sticking on the 2k mark, which could lead to a really unstable long-term economy.
Well, Wolfie, he's going to find one with the AWP. Opening frag, found. Molly's dropped in. Dafu taking serious damage. Going to tap away at a second. JDC and Shui, though, are going to respond with a couple of kills of their own. Molotov dropped in. Wolfie going to be caught off with a big flank and a fast one, but Fasher caught out by Shui. The M4 for a second. And actually now, Ecstatic got a bit of a plate of food that they've got to dismiss here. Missed shots, Manx. Okay, does connect. Problem is, 2 AWPs on the retake.
And they're walking into each other. Wolfie giving a freebie there. Didn't expect that at all. Second spotted, and he's going to be able to turn back around. Adding another one to his tally. A defuse coming through. That's a 12-1 scoreline. Brilliantly done by Ecstatic to regain a round which looked out of their hands. It was in a bit of a dire strait as well, and it shows as well that MOUZ NXT, they may have realised now, in fact, that just going aggressive could be a real good factor for them long-term, right? They figured out, you know, we've got aggressive, we've taken that B site and nearly made a post-plant work in our favour with just Tech 9s and a 1 Deagle going into that. A very lacklustre utility, and it nearly worked in their favour. This might be a part and parcel that they keep in going forward now that they're going to have a full buy in their hands. But we'll have to take a look and see.
So, things thick and fast. It's a 12th round on the board. Shots being rattled off. It's all back and forth. It's all up in the air. Molly dropped in, but Neo, it's a slow-paced round once again. The early HP advantage established, but maybe not the frag. Manx, disciplined, finds the frag, backs.
Morby spot as well. Birth from Sky so aggressive here. Very uncharacteristic of him, but it's actually working really well in his favour because you look now over towards this rotation coming through. Shuhi making his way forward over towards this short position, but surely met by the AWP of Manx.
Still having a little look. Shuhi just taking Fasher's head off. Molly dropped in. 4 on 3. bomb in hand at least, so you have been given that leeway. Flash will be dropped, Shui just clearing the close angles, and now, of course, that gives him leeway to set the bomb down. 4 on 3, got to see how it works.
And a retake worked before, missed shot from Torzi as well, gives away the ruse of where he's currently set up. They're going for a bit of a double stack over towards short, but that's a beautiful nade. Bird from Sky and Manx a slither of health left.
And well, AWP shot doesn't connect. If they had a second nade, this could be a freebie. Wolfie towards CT. 4 on 2, Shui and JDC. A couple of these players low, and so JDC will capitalize. A headshot is enough. Gets dinked down himself. Shui's got a lot to do. Shui's got a hell of a lot to do, but if he can step up like this, maybe. Dafu, sticking it. He's got it. Surely he pulls off. No, he's going to go for it again. It's a 5-second defuse. JDC, has he got the time? Yes, he does. Just to deny. Dafu goes for the frags. Doesn't quite get the margin. MOUZ NXT to a second, so it's saved from the embarrassing 16-1. But another crazy retake nearly going Ecstatic's way. Oh my.
That became very, very close. Hey, and what we said earlier about those odds flipping, that's exactly the case. And this is for the series as well, which goes back to what we were saying in our veto earlier about how when we go to Inferno, of course, if it's going to be a fabled map number 3, it has to be an Inferno. Statistically speaking, Ecstatic are the better side, and this is where we're starting to see MOUZ NXT falter and maybe start to feel the pressure of playing against the big guns. Now, JDC out towards long in the air, gonna catch one, but he gets traded out quickly. Aggressive through the smoke, Bird from Sky able to find 2. And the IGL's been so aggressive in his nature, but it's been working brilliantly.
And I don't know what's happened between the maps for both teams, right? Ecstatic must have, you know, snorted some gamer energy or something, Neo. I don't know what's going on, man, but they're crispy heading into map 2. And for MOUZ NXT, it just seems like they got way too comfortable in map 1, you know?
Comfortable, that's it. You're spot on. That's exactly the word I was going to use. It's comfortable. They've really taken their foot off the gas when they should have put their foot on their throat even further, right? They should have closed out this series.
Yeah.
Because they were given the opportunity. They were given the God's gift of an opportunity to lock out a 2-0 against a 20th ranked team in the world who've just won the Pinnacle Fall series. I mean, you know, that's not an easy task, but as you mentioned, they got too confident, and look where they are now. They're currently down by 10 rounds on their own map pick.
Low pressure, but it's the AWP. Manx delivers 13-2. Not quite the embarrassing 14-1, but it might as well be. MOUZ NXT, yes, they are a map up, but wow, what a confusing couple of maps here this has been, because Ecstatic...
Yeah.
Out of map 1 looks awful, into map 2 look insane. And of course, vice versa. MOUZ NXT in map 1 looked insane. Now, you know, not there, clearly.
No, yeah, a shadow of their former selves, apparently. Now heading towards the second half, and a pistol round for Ecstatic more or less seals out map number 2. Could leave MOUZ NXT with no real ability to build up an economy, and of course, more or less pushes us to Inferno. But to be fair, we did see it. MOUZ NXT turned things around from a 13-2 yesterday. So I'm not going to be too overzealous just yet. I've learned from my mistakes.
Yeah, to be fair, that was on Ancient. Now we're on Dust 2. Kind of a different scenario to be in, you know. Exactly. When you're given the CT side of Ancient, slightly better, but no, I agree. We've seen ridiculous stuff from the MOUZ NXT side recently, and hey, that's probably not the best start to be within. Shane dinked, Shui gone. 4 on 5, Zershan missed everything. Torzi tapping away, can't connect on anything more than the single. And so, you know, 3 on 4, Wolfie moves away. JDC will catch him as he tries to pull off the fadeaway. 3 on 3, everything's still very much in the air.
Yeah, 3 on 3, but I'm going to get planted. Dafu going for the world of world flanks, trying to catch someone into a CT, and Shane's going to be the one who might actually be able to spot at his feet. Torzi going to be able to connect himself on one, but there we go. Dafu coming in for that flank that we spoke about, jumping through from Torzi. Not going to be able to work as Dafu cleans up. A nice rotation, a pistol round for Ecstatic, a bomb plant, everything working in their favour. 14-2 on the scoreline, 2 rounds away. Pushing us on towards map number 3 of Inferno, and 2 rounds is all that MOUZ NXT have got so far.
Zipple's just put in the chat, both teams anti-strategy each other's maps, and it worked. And you're damn right.
He's spot on. Yeah, absolutely spot on.
Like,
we said this, didn't we?
Yeah, I said on Vertigo, you know, MOUZ NXT have teed up every single strategy Ecstatic have thrown at them. And then on Dust 2, even though it has been an enclosed 3 maps on MOUZ NXT's name that they've won all 3, Ecstatic have demolished them, and
exactly.
It started on the CT side, right? You talk about the overzealous B plays that have worked out. You talk about the initial long contact that even when it's shown, Ecstatic back away and wait. And look at the scoreline. It speaks volumes to this series. And, well, I mean, look at this, man. It's another round. Tragic, maybe, as a couple of kills going back and forth, but still, it's Ecstatic up top in a 3-on-2. The HP lead, the gun advantage, the bomb just about to be set down. And, well, now it's Shane and Shuey. Poles have to pull together something ridiculous.
Yeah, but I'm going to get planted at the very least, and we'll see how this one plays out so far. Shuey's being very aggressively walking forward. Deagle shots. Body shots not what they used to be. That old Deagle would have cleaned that one up. But not the case as Shane has one more to his tally. It's all down to who can hit the bullet first, but it's going to be Fasher who comes out on top. That's 15, and that's Ecstatic 1 round away from pushes to Inferno, answering back in nearly as dominant fashion. And those Spinal Gods actually significantly starting to space out more. 1.66 for Ecstatic. From look at where they were at the end of map number 1, it was what? They were like towards 10, essentially.
Yeah, I'm lost for words. Really lost for words. If it happens once in a series, hey man, it's understandable. If it happens twice in a series on each other's map pick, like, hello? It should, I don't know, man. It should never be happening. But hey man, if that's how the gods have determined this game, then...
Exactly.
I'm all for it in map 3. We could be here for hours casting overtime after overtime. You know, like, that could honestly be the way this one goes.
Hey, I'm not saying no. This has been so far the exciting map. 15-2. And of course, you look for MOUZ NXT, what? A double scout and a fan base is what they're really relying on to deny Ecstatic pushings to Inferno. You can't have too high hopes.
Exertion, missed shot, and another one. That could have been the HP leads that they desperately needed to clamber onto. Fasher, he's extended his regards to the left-hand side of Long. Of course, they're looking for a way to nail him down, but it's 4 other players they still have no information lead from. Fasher stuck in on that angle. Everyone else, the freedom to rotate, the freedom to move, the freedom of everything, effectively. But with 45 seconds, they're not here to just send their teammates to the abyss. They're here to bail them out. They're going to go for a long play. Scouts held down. Xertion, another missed shot. Actually, no, this one does connect. Shane will find a second trace from Fasher, though. His AK's found 2.
Oh, and Torzy for the smoke as well. A lovely preemptive shot there. Wolfie gonna fall. The amount of advantage collected, and actually this is becoming a little bit dicey, especially with JDC so far forward. But the second shot doesn't connect, and of course it's now giving them a bit of a lifeline to work with. Smoke gonna come forward. One player spotted, bomb to be planted, and it's all down to whether Torzy can make this rotation work in his favor, and he does. Connects onto the first, and Dafu left all alone. A jumping no scope connects. It's like flying scouts. That's the Kukli shot from Torzy finds him a 3rd in the round. MOUZ NXT live to see another day off the back of a Kukli.
What? Seriously? No. What on earth was that? MOUZ NXT up to a 3rd. Hey, man. You know, you've got some balls on you to go for that in a one-on-one that means the map, you know?
Fair play. I mean, absolutely fair play. When it means the map pushes to Inferno where your opposition are statistically better, for them to risk a Kukli, yeah, Torzy, he's a different breed. Absolutely different breed. And Ecstatic off the back of it, going to call for a timeout. They're shaking. Yeah,
I mean, maybe a little bit rattled, but the money is the problem here, you know? Ecstatic know they can't let themselves get too ahead of themselves. They knew as soon as they gave momentum to the hands of MOUZ NXT in map 1, they absolutely ran away with it. Now it's starting to transition once again into this second map. You know, maybe the bleed isn't going to be as effective. You're only guaranteed an overtime, and that's, of course, if you do complete the 14-round run in a row. Or rather 13, but still same points, you know?
Exactly, yeah, precisely that. It's still the same situations are being... It's for Ecstatic, I think for them, this is about killing dead time now, right? 15-3, they're surely going to find a T-side round at some point. And for MOUZ NXT, I think the biggest thing at the moment is about a mental reset, which the latter part of these rounds of Dust 2 are going to be about, right? It's very, very, very unlikely. Less than 1% chance that MOUZ NXT, in my eyes, are able to bring this to overtime, right? So for them, it's about putting a little bit of rounds on the board to boost their confidence ever so slightly off the back of a poor performance, to then go into Inferno, completely reset the way Ecstatic reset.
So, gonna use the old Glock timeout strat. Maybe it's not as exactly, you know, going to be used as a timeout. They're still going aggressive, but yeah, right. You know, you're not just using the 30-second pause there to discuss what's up. You're actually using it more to talk about you know, what's going on in the game. You're using more than the 30 seconds, which is absolutely nice to see. Torzi finds the owner with the AWP. A second frag maybe. He's going to be denied of it. The flashbang just to try and hinder the progress here for Ecstatic. And of course, that lets the AWP go even more aggressive. Nice tag. Dinked up. Shui, he will find one. Torzi's AWP dropped. Famas as well could leave middle, but JDC still tapping away. Nice from Shui. The fade away while falling. And now the Glock of Manx against 4. He's trying to go for the jump shot of his own. And, well, unfortunate to say the least. Ecstatic, they concede a 4th. Hey, man, we're in for the game. And 9 more rounds, or rather 11 more rounds in a row.
Up to this one plays out, of course. I mean, if you have somehow some faith that MOUZ can tie this up to 15-15 and somehow push to overtime and win an overtime the way they did yesterday, you can head over to our lovely partners at Pinnacle. Starting using the code Malta21, and you get a 100% deposit bonus up to €100 over there at tab.gg/bet100.
Round 20, and it's an AK investment with the one Galil on Wolfie to orchestrate a 16th, and Fasha leaving the Alto because he's high and up. Frags, Max a second, 5 on 3. 30 to go. You know, you've already lost the 2-man advantage. MOUZ NXT now need a blinder of a performance from someone. This team patiently waiting the opportunity to strike. Flashbang in, the molly. Oh no, missed shot. Bird from Sky actually going to get a team kill involved, but Torzi still stuck on Car. Second molly to force him out, and it's a shame 1 on 4. You know, how much of a believer are you in MOUZ NXT? How much of a believer are you in Shane? I don't think you can exactly equate to how much you have to believe for him to win this one. I think this ship sailed, even if he wins the round. You know, the chance of taking this map is extraordinarily low. And, you know, 50 seconds to go, bomb's making its way around. There's a player in middle, there's a player flanking long. The bomb's making its way through tunnels. Shane's just going to be baited completely by the long presence. Mank's going to spot him, and now they just close. A pack of walls, patiently waiting, and they strike. The charge is complete for Ecstatic. The old map switcheroony heading into our decider of Inferno, Neo. And of course, all eyes now on this series. A dominant map 1 from MOUZ NXT, a slaughter of a map 2 coming in from Ecstatic. So what do we anticipate heading into Inferno?
Oh, well, I mean, the fabled map number 3. If it's going to be anything, of course, we're heading towards Inferno. This one should be all the more exciting. I'm really excited to see how these two teams reset now. MOUZ NXT, they're in a good run of form, but we don't want to see Ecstatic get overconfident, right? So it's all to play for coming down to it. It should be interesting. I think for MOUZ NXT, though, I don't know what happened, but that was not the same side.
No, and it's crazy to think, right, we are, what, I think we started here at 3 our time, Neo, so, you know, we're an hour and 20 minutes in, and we've already watched 2 whole maps of Counter-Strike. You know, it doesn't, even though, you know, the relog media curse is that these best of 3s, you know, take usually longer than 3 hours, is why we're always behind schedule. We're actually not only on schedule to run a second map, we're on our decider of the series. It's good times to be in, but of course, map number 3 to come up next is going to be that of Inferno, the fabled decider. One of these two teams will be joining Copenhagen Flames in that grander final. It's going to be MOUZ NXT to turn things around on Inferno, or Ecstatic to make it an all-Danish derby. We'll wait to see, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you after the break.
map pick and take a 16-4. Now, of course, we're into his Inferno, and as you mentioned, Retro, this is the fabled third map decider.
Yeah, absolutely, right. We're heading into Inferno. MOUZ NXT looking pretty gone on it. Ecstatic actually one-upping them, I think, in terms of percentages, you know, heading into this map. So when we look at things sort of head-to-head and sort of running into the action here, I don't know what to expect heading into Inferno. You know, with both teams looking, you know, okay on it, I think it's safe to say we're definitely excited to see how this one goes. MOUZ NXT, can we see them perform like we saw them in map 1? Don't forget, of course, they played it twice so far in this tournament, beating Phoenix in their opening game 16-9, and they beat Harvu 16-12 on it. Of course, for Inferno, for the Ecstatic side, they're currently on a 6-map winning streak, beating Eternal Fire twice, beating twice Blink and Mad Lions. Can they add MOUZ NXT to the tally? We find out as we jump to the knife.
Yeah, of course, knife to the side, and the pinnacle odds there coming into this map number 3. Essentially now best of 1. It's 1.74 to Ecstatic. They are the favourites coming into it, but JDC can open up with a double, make that a third, in fact, with a knife, and they very comfortably win the knife from MOUZ NXT, get their preference of where they want to start, and you'd expect a CT side start to come through for the MOUZ NXT side, now that they've won that knife round, of course, and this now begs the question. We've seen both of these two sides on the CT side show the real strength. So, the MOUZ NXT, can they get off that flying start on their CT side to really start to dictate the tempo of this final map number 3? Winner of this moves forward in towards that grand finals against Copenhagen Flames. Loser is down and out of the tournament itself.
So, everything starts here, my friend. Of course, the knife done and dusted. We move into the mainstream, right? We move into the big game. And well, MOUZ NXT starting on that CT side, I guess that's always the promising factor. Ecstatic on the T side. Pull util setup, by the way, not something we see too commonly.
No, but I think on a map like Inferno, I think it actually is not a bad decision at all. I think Inferno, when you see a lot of util coming through, it's one of those very util heavy maps, you know, especially over towards Banana, but of course as well, the smoke and the flashes, and even that Molotov as well, over towards the likes of Moto, over towards that short position, very, very good at gaining a lot of control. Hence what we're seeing now, Torsi go for a reposition over towards Bracket.
Flash over, Xertion, just going to use it as a way, as a mean to peek, medium to find maybe the opening frag. Instead, he won't dish a bullet to the head, he'll take one instead. It's now a 5-on-5, yes, but you've lost 95 points of health. That advantage could be key to the later stages, especially with this B-execute following suit from it. How well will MOUZ NXT defend? Well, Shuey wildly spams through, won't quite connect Xertion on the back of the site. Good for one. Hey, man, you know, you're 5 points of health and you've still found a kill. It's a valiant attempt. Can any more damage be done from it, though, in the post-plant?
Yeah, bombs go down as the priority, of course, and a Pistorana gives you the economy looking forward. Daffy from the bar finds one, and Flasher just comes in to help him out there. A little bit flustered after the first kills. Torsi will fall, but a brilliant swing from JDC, adding to that already quite illustrious tally that we've said from the support man. Made that 2, not able to convert it on towards 3. A 2 versus 1 now with Shane just trying to dance around the bomb, but the post plan already set up so prevalent. And in the 1 versus 2, they just have to play the trade. Or do they?
Okay, and there's a kit there as well to be picked up, right? Shane moving forward just so he can get that 5-second defuse. Does go for the tap and not the stick. Patiently waiting. Bird from Sky swings forward, and there you go. He's got the round just because he has the kit. The time is going to be close, but he has it. Plenty of it. MOUZ NXT take the pistol.
That's a brilliant round. Individually from Shane there. Icy's that 1 versus 2 perfectly. That's how you sort of destroy and dismantle a post-spawn in that sort of situation. For Bird from Sky, it may have even been worth as well, in that situation, gambling upon the fact that he wasn't sticking it. Because then, you know, if he is sticking it with such low HP, all it took was 1 bullet anywhere to connect, and that's exactly what we saw. Shane, though, perfectly played. First round going the way of MOUZ NXT. Now let's see how things continue to play out. Can they use this as a catalyst to further momentum?
Round. Everything is meant, of course, to see if MOUZ NXT can be denied of this early momentum, the early gains, whatever it may be. Xertion, he'll find the opener. Deep B control established as well here, Neo. A valiant effort to start things off, of course, and Ecstatic, they've done damage in return, but all unconfirmed.
Yeah, so far, not going to complain, MOUZ NXT. They've got an opening kill, man advantage, and for the most part, looking pretty comfortable in their setup. You see that sort of essentially a triple stack over towards B. They're slightly gambling in that sense, but it's because they could being given the allowance to do so, because the A players are just going to play super passive. One towards big pit, one towards mini pit.
Five on five. Retained the advantage for MOUZ NXT, the 5-on-4, and he executes forward. Can they deliver? Shui, one with the MP9, got to find a second. Can he? No, denied of it. A wild spam. There's a team kill in the mix. Wolfie just killed his teammate of Manx. We're down to a 2-on-2. It's a hectic start, but it could be the 1-all scoreline. One kit in the hands of Shane, a FAMAS, and a single smoke being expended towards Banana. Both players currently residing in coffins.
The post spawn set up, but it's very, very tentative, of course. And with Daffy on a slither of health, this makes things all the more uncomfortable. They're gambling them on the fact over towards this CT position. They think they know, or they have a ruse of where they're set up. Swinging forward, though, it's Wolfie, brilliant shot. Finding one, and Shane again left this time in a 1v2. And no way he sticks this one. He tries to, but Wolfie reads into it brilliantly. Adds one more to his tally, and this game tied one apiece. Win for a brawl here in map number 3.
Wow, all that war being displayed once more. We are into round 3, and it is level the scoreline. Of course, for MOUZ NXT, the money game will be very, very weak. You've just come off of a single round loss bonus, and this is just going to be the most painful bit of it all, right? It's going to sting. You've got to set back to the Deagles, and you're hoping just for the utility to come out. That is simply it.
We will see, of course. Now you look at MOUZ NXT, you sort of spoke about the economy a little bit, and it's not great for the CT side. Just the upgraded pistols coming through, and you'd expect Ecstatic to be able to pick themselves up a second round here. The question is, how expensive can MOUZ make it?
To the top here, see what's going on. Jump spot, the information, whatever it may be, bird from sky. A lot of vision sapped from him, but it doesn't stop him from working around the smoke. Wild spam through it to see what's cracking out towards B. Nothing yet though, Neo. Still a stagnant 5-on-5, but of course that weapon need for Ecstatic, they can afford to take their time.
Yeah, they can. They can afford to. They know they have a significantly better firepower. I think really for the T side, they're just trying to eye out exactly whether there's potential of a gamble stack, and if there is, can they go the opposite way?
Time is being wasted. Rotating is the temptation here, but of course Shui going to advise against it. A triple stack towards B, and unfortunately for Ecstatic, they will be walking into it if they do proceed with this execute. Util drop forward. Smoke dropped in, Molly backside, first kill in favour of that MOUZ NXT side, quickly slipped from them, and he trades no. Torzi, serious damage done to Fasha, but no frag from it. A 4-on-5 scenario, bomb going to be set down, the spam is wild, the attempted run over the top, but Shui has to wait for the smoke, really well anticipated for Ecstatic.
It's a really nice read now, of course. What can they do with it? Shuhei finds himself two with a sumptuous second on towards Dafu. And actually, they're giving us a to work with. As Shane has made this now. A 3. Made that.
Oh my god!
What is that round from Shuhei? The Deagle in hand, the hand cannon is absolutely spectacular. MOUZ NXT answer right back with a brilliant, absolutely astounding round there, and Ecstatic just get destroyed. What a round that is. MOUZ NXT find 2, Ecstatic will put in their place in the most emphatic of fashions. Stunning, stunning, stunning.
Oh my god. I'm in awe of Shui. That play. I've got to see it from his POV.
I have to as well.
I'm done. I'm lost. Like, what is this game? What's just happened there? Like, you've just lost, well, basically, Shui's terror, you know? Effectively, 4 players individually, one by one, you face it to the Deagle, and every single one of you has just been rattled to the abyss. And you know what? You can't blame the Observer for catching none of those kills, because Shui was on, what, like, 20 points of health after the first kill?
I think it was like 12.
Yeah, and he's still found 3 people. Like, who expects that play to happen? Shui certainly does. And we're in a 5-on-5, and another round goes in favour of MOUZ NXT. The back-and-forth nature of Inferno is exactly what we anticipated.
That's what we needed for a map number 3 to be this sort of finish. I mean, that is nothing short of spectacular. Now over towards Banana. They've heard the sound cue as well. That flashbang connected, a flash all onto a 1 through. Xerxian falls through the wood, and of course now they've got top B control.
What they do with it, though, is the next question. The big factor of it all. Wild spam for Torzy. He's going to continue to try and spam through the smoke. No damage done. There you go. Shui with one. Shui a second. Wolfie, yes, does get a trade with the Mac 10. Not before Wolfie takes damage. And Dafu, considerable chunks taken out of him as well. A 3-on-2. Bomb set down. Post plant in. And of course, because why not? You're going to go for the reboost. And perfect. You know where the last is as well. Wolfie, 1-on-2. Has isolated the first man. Torzy and JDC to find.
Yeah, we're speaking about the 1 versus 2, the isolations. We saw this from a retake standpoint. Now, what can Wolfie do? Hasn't got an AWP in hand, just the AK, and the smoke will give away his ruse, hence why he's not going to opt to use it. Still wants to give himself a little bit of time to work with, and now, of course, he does. There's a slight gap there. I know exactly where he is, dancing his way through. JDC will fall, and so will the second as well. Torzy drops. Wolfie in a 1 versus 2, nerves of steel, back and forth. You spoke about it, Retro, and look where we are now. Tied, all square, at 2 rounds apiece. What a map, and what a series so far.
So, okay. I honestly have no clue how this game's going to go.
No.
Shui, you know, there's like, when JDC hits a sick, like, multi-kill, there's like, you know, the John De Castro spam, and then, like, it's Torizi sometimes, you know. What is there for Shui, man? Like, I can't believe he's just found 4 kills. And obviously, like, drawing back to the 4th round of CS, it's now 2-all. Ecstatic have responded. It was a 1-on-3 success. And in terms of that, it is basically a reset for MOUZ NXT. Shui, a valiant effort in the previous force buy, can't quite connect in anything in this round. 3-on-5, Ecstatic have the numbers game, but numbers mean nothing in this scenario whatsoever. Both teams just put in everything they can.
Yeah, numbers at this point mean absolutely nothing, right? It's all about what they can find with it. Manx finds Shane, though, and that gives them room to work with over towards A. The first time we've seen this A hit come through, and it's going to be, for the most part, relatively untested, especially with JDC manoeuvring his way forward. But in this out position, surely they won't clear him.
Well, there you have it, JDC. Oh, and he's good for, well, I was going to say 2, but it's actually Exertion, pinch away a frag. JDC against 3, but probably one of the more doable ones. Dafu, 1 shot to the Deagle. Wolfie, 1 shot to the Deagle. Fasha, really the only man that you've got to be careful of. Unfortunately, the AWP holding the angle is enough, though. In turn, that is that. Very nicely done. And, well, the odds over at Pinnacle, the 1.56 on Ecstatic side, but this is as nail-biting as it gets.
Yeah, what a map number 3 we are being absolutely blessed with here. 3-2 in favour of Ecstatic on their T side, but it's a 10-3-2 lead. The only thing that will sort of rest their minds, I guess you could say, is, of course, you look over towards MOUZ NXT, and that economy not the greatest. Not the bank is not as fruitful as usual, and it's just going to be the pistols coming through. They've gone for essentially the full eco. That 1 P250 coming through as a sort of a slight silver lining in a tough situation, but you doubt much is going to be found here. Big Nate coming forwards. Shuhei jumped to 7 points of HP already, and this should be your regular procedure showings, right? Of the full buy, the rifles, closing this one out easily.
They're in. Smokes drop forward. Well, there you have it. Wolfie finds the opener. Nice little double boost there, actually. I haven't seen that one in a fair while. They're chilling for now. Bird from Sky, thinking about running aggressive, thinking about best B play in general, but of course they've got to hold on to the numbers game. They know the pistols can show a little bit of resistance, just matters where.
Only one over to his right, this Fountain, the top player, Shui's on 7 points of HP. He could fall in a matter of seconds, and I think it's just sort of killing time now. You spoke about, you know, the full Glocks as being used as a bit of attack, and this is a similar thing now with the USBs. They're holding down, trying to make it as expensive as they can, but in this sort of situation, with the smoke now in towards CT, it's a matter of time before they clear them out.
Spams in, Fasha, he'll find another. Now it's getting a bit fruitful, of course, as they continue to move forward. Ecstatic, clearing out the B site as free as you like, down to 2, Torzy and Shane. Got to make it all work out, and it is going to be a 4th round forfeited. You know, Ecstatic are going to find themselves to the 4th on the board. And in turn, actually, do you know what? Oh, don't you dare, Torzy. Leave the chicken be. Don't you dare.
There's no need for violence, all right?
There isn't.
It's a peaceful situation. We don't need any...
The bomb will do the work.
Exactly. Precisely that. But yeah, now we see for the first time a 2-round lead. We haven't seen this sort of gap before in map number 3. So we're going to see how this one plays out. Torzy maybe trying to make it a little bit expensive if he can, a consolation kill at the very most. They probably have a slight inkling as well that he is over towards that church. It's the only place they didn't clear, and that is the case. Goes for a peek, and he's going to fall very, very comfortably. 4-2 on the scoreline. Ecstatic bridging an ever so slight, ever so tentative 2-round gap. But so far, so good, you have to say, for the T side. 3 consecutive rounds on the board. They're not going to complain with that. And, of course, you're not going to complain with a Hellcase giveaway for Knockout Series 4. Click that banner below the stream. We have some beautiful skins over with our partners at Hellcase.
Hell yeah, man.
Hell yeah, Hellcase.
Hell yeah, Hellcase. Damn straight. All my homies love Hellcase. So, round 7. 4-2. MOUZ NXT, their chance for an investment. Their chance for revenge to try and level out the scorelines as best as they can. Smoke towards deep B. Molly up close in response. Nice from Fasher to find the opener, but he's burning to the flames, and it is a 4-on-4. Retaining the numbers merely through utility. Shui now with a bit of a task on his hands. The only B player, of course, and with a FAMAS, assisted by Torzy. So, 2 players stacked towards each site. Will Ecstatic read into this rotate?
That's a fantastic question. Of course, you didn't double stack it. Dafo's going to fall, in fact, and that already gives MOUZ NXT the advances they need. Bird from Sky trying to clear deep banana, but already with a man advantage, the trade game is going to work in their favour. They're double stacked 2 on each site, and they're just going to play off contact.
Nicely done. Bird from Sky. He'll find another 3-on-3. Be a little bit careful here. They're taking their sweet, sweet time. Having a look around, Ecstatic moving their way back towards middle. And with 3 players alive, you know, you've only got 1 player of Torzy out towards B. 2 of these players stacked towards A, or no, they've switched it out. It's just a 1. It's JDC that has to hold on, or is it because they're moving towards long? This could be the B flank. Surely they know and recognize that they could actually be moving through CT if they so wish, but they're not. They're going back towards A. It's a long peak. It's a long push. JDC dropping the smoke, 15 seconds, he knows what he's got to do. Throws the flash high, and now he's going to hear the counter utility thrown by Ecstatic. Yes, the bomb's set down, but he's the thorn in the side in this retake.
Becomes very, very tough. JDC as well, it's all down to how he wants to play this. Waiting for the rotation to come through. What can he do with it is the big question. He has to play this so passively. But they know exactly where he's posted up to. And of course, he overextends ever so slightly. 1 going the way. Wolfie making it a second. They're not going to quite connect, and Torzy just doubling down. Tail between his legs as he falls away to keep hold of the only rifle they're going to have heading into that next round. And they're going to give up a 5th over towards Ecstatic. JDC was their trump card, and he gets trumped immediately.
And just more than painful now, eh? Really is more than painful. Bomb's going to detonate. Doesn't change a thing. It is done. It is dusted. It's Ecstatic up to 5. And in turn, of course, the worry is, you know, this lead's starting to slip away a little bit. The problem's starting to occur that little bit more. Really starting to get a little bit worried here, eh?
Yeah, spot on. Of course, it's a tough one to predict, but of course, if you think you can over to our lovely partners at Pinnacle. 100 deposit bonus, up to €100 when you sign up using the code Malta21, ted.gg/bet100. Also, taking a call for a tactical timeout. I don't blame them. This map number 3 has been close until now. Now we're seeing a pretty significant gap start to be built up. And again, it's off the back of a brilliant post plan. That's the 4th consecutive round by Ecstatic, where MOUZ NXT were unable to break them down. And you've got to say, they're probably starting to feel that pressure now. This is one of those situations. You see, of course, the mastermind Cyclone speaking there. Well, this is one of those situations for them, right? They know more than anyone. Lose this, you're out. Lose this, there's no lower bracket. There's no second chance. It's what single elimination, you're gone.
That's the harsh brutality that is the Malta Vibes Knockout Series. The name says it all. The teams know what they're getting into. Just about now, expressing the comeback maybe, or for Ecstatic, drowning that comeback out.
Yes.
Can they do it on Inferno? Can we see them slaughter them once more? Or is this going to be a lot closer? Already looked a little more competitive at the beginning. Ecstatic have been running away with it. Torzy going aggressive. It's a freebie. It's a 5-on-4. And that's the gift that MOUZ NXT needed. Or is it? Or is it going to be a 5-on-3 as MOUZ jumped? No, the MoTV clip.
No.
Oh, it's there. I see it. It's in my eyes. Ingrained.
Oh, no.
No.
He's definitely a mouse wheel jumper. That's why you got to hit it on that space bar. Spacebar gang, rise up. That's
Yes.
like, there's no slip-ups when it's over on the spacebar. Are you actually hitting that big thing? When you're a mouse wheel gamer, unlucky. That's what happens. See? Learn. Kids, any of you new guns getting into a CSGO, there's top tips.
55 seconds. My top tip in this round would be careful for the B stack, because 3 players patiently waiting. Another player waiting in T-spawn for the flank should they need to. And it's Shane that really could pop off. Both from Sky spotting the boost. Xerxes now has to back away, and the problems really start to occur. And in terms of that, 35 seconds, Ecstatic has to go towards B. They have to face the music, to face the triple stack towards site. How well will they do? First kill found. Bird from Sky shows what's up. A second frag. And oh, Shane, he's going to find one. Xerxes, another. The bomb's dropped out on Banana. Swing in. Fasher will retain normality. But 2 survivors. Things got very, very choppy.
Yeah, that got dicey, to say the least, right? That became all the more worrisome for the time being. And if you're speaking about worrisome, that's the situation over in the MOUZ NXT camp. Those Pinnacle odds getting further and further apart, and they're very, very rarely wrong. 6-2, 4-round lead on the T side. Ecstatic starting to pull away with this, and this goes back to exactly what we spoke about at the veto right before this series got started. Now, statistically speaking, Ecstatic are the better side than Inferno, and they're most likely going to prove it if they get given the chance.
Gonna get the boost over the top, having a look at ramp. Torzi expecting someone to peek. Nothing from it just yet. Torzi and JDC burning, just absolutely burn into the flames. They've lost a considerable point of HP between them. And Fasher, very fortunate not to get burnt here, and they won't expect him here whatsoever for it. It's a freebie. Fasher, who'll deliver a 5-on-4. Oh, and
Brilliant.
a 5-on-3 through the smoke as well, just for added measure.
You know what, that's such a rookie error as well with the Molotov. Whoever threw that, they just ever so slightly underthrew it, right? They didn't line that one up properly, and it gave Fasher the ever so slight, tiniest gap. Oh, look at this crossfire that can be set up here. It's stunning. Absolutely textbook Counter-Strike from Ecstatic here. Brilliant. How to play a T-side of Inferno. Substantially better now than what we saw from that map number 1, where they were lackluster to say the least, and Dafu will clean up the last. No saving this time. Torzi falls at the 7th round collected, a 5-round lead, and Ecstatic starting to show why on paper they're the better side, not only in terms of rankings, but in terms of just this map as an individual sort of point of call. Inferno, 7-2 Ecstatic lead, 1 round away from winning out the half, and the question is how much further damage can they point?
We are. Round 10, 7-2, Ecstatic running away with it. MOUZ NXT needs to control the flames that are Ecstatic. And speaking of the flames, the winner of this matchup will face them in the grand finals. Who knows, man? Really, who knows? The responsibilities held extremely high. Molly's going to be dropped forward. The nades in response. Fasher thinking about the aggression towards middle. Surprise, surprise. The boost, the D. And well, the 5-on-4 that comes from it. A 5-on-3 though. Now that's a bit worrying for Ecstatic.
This is actually concerning times. They've given away 2 1v1s, which they shouldn't have. And we've already seen these Deagles reign supreme. Shuey with the most unreal quad earlier. And this time again, it's Shane and JDC who kickstart things.
Time. Chilling. Board. Gone. Hush. 40 seconds. Orp, 2 AKs, got to face off against 5 Desert Eagles. The hungry MOUZ NXT side as well that are looking for more. JDC, who'll pick up the information on the long play. You can see, resuming the passive angle. However, doing so, you've let them slip by and they're going to run through Arch. They're going to send it towards B. And now they've got to be careful for 2 angles. Xerxes to go aggressive. Wolfie finds the no-scope. Shuey on the back of the site. 20 seconds. Does he wait? He will try to at least. Spots 1. Wolfie, missed shot. Deagle can't connect. 14 seconds. Bomb set down.
Yeah, those ones be set up here, but a shot as well. Torzi finds one. Shane and Torzi combine. What a brilliant double swing there for MOUZ NXT to find their third. A really nice retake. At this time, they don't give Ecstatic room to work with when it comes to setting up a post-spawn. They're right in their face, hyper-aggressive, and off the back of it, they let themselves, of course, a 3rd round to be collected. Shane or Mask of the Chicken to add good measure. Massive deficit to only 4. Getting a little bit closer at the very least. And technically speaking as well, MOUZ NXT could still win the half. It's improbable, but it's not impossible.
Let's see it happen.
Imagine the scenes.
Yeah, would be unreal, eh? Really would be unreal. Round 11, 7-3. All on the table for the taking. Can MOUZ NXT make this one work?
That is the age-old question. It does seem, of course. I think off map number 1 and 2, it really was the question of, whoever was the first side to actually put up a good T side was going to win out the series, and now we're starting to see Ecstatic do that. But the question is, can they continue it? Xertion, a little bit of damage onto the Breath from Sky, as the AWP reigns supreme. Fascia will fall, and already an opening kill collected, but Dafu at least brings it even.
Hearing the noise, JDC catches him off guard. Beautiful 4-on-3, MOUZ NXT to retain the advantages. Minute and 10 seconds to go. There is that lurk smoke dropped in from apartments. JDC now just thinking about when he can pull the trigger. Wolfie missed shot. There's even extension from Long, and the orb shot from Torzy misses on the second attempt as well. 58 seconds. It's a mess. Dafu going for a wild spam, using the lurk smoke to every advantage he can attempt to find. Nothing from it. 50 seconds. 4-on-3. Open 2 AKs here for Ecstatic. Can they try and wriggle out to find an 8th?
From the Sky, it's a lot riding on his shoulders here in towards balcony position. It's very, very tough to find anything from here. Flash deep in towards short, but from the Sky, he's got a bit of sound cues to work off, but so far, not so good. This triple stacked over in his position, swinging in though, and it's going to be JDC who reigns supreme. And now the remaining 2 for Ecstatic. I think with 20 seconds left on the clock, just keep hold of what you got.
Well, there you have it. Guess MOUZ NXT, they're going to find themselves a 4th. Kept competitive, right? Certainly more than what Map 1 and Map 2 combine.
Yeah, say that again.
It's just, wow. What a best of 3 this has been so far. And we see MOUZ NXT hit the board since, that 3rd round accomplishment, which if I'm correct in saying was, not extremely recently. You'll see it just pop up in a second hit. Speaking of pop-ups, Pinnacle. Check out those odds, and I mean, exactly so, right? The 2-round win streak hadn't won since round 3. 6 in a row for Ecstatic right now. The numbers, just the 3-round difference. If MOUZ NXT can find the next 4, it would be a benefit heading onto that T side. But even an 8-7 lead, sometimes an Inferno just isn't enough.
Yeah, no, exactly that. And of course, at Pinnacle, you can't use a good Malta 21, 100% deposit bonus up to €100. Hodos B, they're trying to go aggressive here. It's the battle of the utility, an orb shot raining out, but not going to be able to connect. Torzy just trying to cause a ruckus.
Flash in. Oh, it's beautiful. Xertion gets caught out while blind, though. Wolfie's holding the angle. No trade either. It's just the molly, it's the aggro, it's the flash to send Shui back in. Nothing from it, though. Still that 4-on-5. MOUZ NXT, the numbers game out of their hands.
So far, that's what they needed the answer with. Bird from Sky. I mean, how do you plan against that? There's nothing you can do. It doesn't matter how smart on IGL you are. You can't expect a wallbang to come through. Torzy doing what he does best. And now JDC in towards Cubby, trying to at least catch something. It's a bit of utility range forward. And Manx just swinging into the wrong position.
Flash dropped in. Nade as well, just for added measure, but they don't know they're out on site just yet until Shane pulls the trigger. Looking for a second, very snappy between the 2, but just not accurate enough with the spam. 3-on-2, bomb set down, doable, especially if they can resume a bit of a crossfire to hold the site down.
Yeah, over towards Cold Zero Box is going to be a real priority. I like this from Wolfie. Going slightly aggressive, gives them room to work with a missed shot. Could be worrisome, but it's not. Dafu at range. It's all down to him at range. Can he connect? Finds himself one. A flash pen to come out as well to try and catch Torzy, and the orb shot raining off. Just not quite connecting. Dafu looking for a quad, but Torzy in a 1-versus-1 needs this double to clinch it out, may I say, and he's opted for the AK.
Oh, the spam's in. Torzy's got to find the frag. So much time's being wasted. He doesn't have enough time to defuse the bomb. Dafu, he's done it. Beautiful counter-strike play by him. Yes, Torzy will find the kill. Does he go down with the bomb? No, he just about survives, but it's an 8th on the board for Ecstatic around, maybe. They should never have even had a chance in.
Perfect. Dafu, that is perfect. What a way to play that post plan. It essentially is a 1-versus-3, where, when Wolfie falls immediately, then he has to isolate this fight. A sumptuous 1-tap, JDC falls, looks for the second as well into his library, delivers brilliantly, and when he knows he's done in a 1-versus-1 versus an AWPer in that of Torzy, all he has to do is play time. He knows the clock is his best friend in that situation, and he perfectly utilises it. 8th round collected, Ecstatic win the half.
Yeah, Spam running out towards middle, just looking for something, I guess, here, Neo. Any advantages, any HP leads that Ecstatic, of course, have fumbled early on? And that is a bliss frag. Xertion catching Fasher through the smoke. 5-on-4. Finally, MOUZ NXT get their way in an advantageous situation.
Can they utilize it, though? We've seen at times the man advantage not really used properly by MOUZ NXT. Is probably the perfect way to speak about it. Last round being a prime example. So I'm going to count out Ecstatic so far. Molotov coming in as well. It gives them at least a bit of control towards top B. Something which Shu he's going to have to be very, very aware of.
Smoke dropped in. Spam, wild. No, not enough. Manx doubles. And that's it, right? Ecstatic, you're in a 3-on-3. The retake looking pretty undeniable. Orb holding the CT angle. Will Torzy expect this? Absolutely not. Wolfie, 16-4. You know, a silent map 1 and map 2 maybe. Haven't really sung his praises too much. Now is the time to step up, and that he has. Down to 2, JDC and Shane. They've got everything to do on this retake. Flash will be dropped in. Missed shot, so now a 2-on-2. Maybe I've made myself eat my words here, Neo, as well. The retake's still going to be ensued. Problem is, 2 kits, no utility. Just the raw aim is going to have to do it. JDC swings back and forth. Now on Dafu's, he catches the diffuser. JDC to tap it. It won't be stuck. And another clutch for Dafu. Another 1-on-2. And another opportunity seized by Ecstatic.
You spoke about, you know, JDC being the tier 2 zip next. Dafu's putting his name in the hat, and deservedly so. Another clutch going his way, and another way to expertly play in the post-plant position. Dafu, so reliable time and time again. This is what we saw from him last round. Brilliant. At range, finds the first. Second on towards Shuhei, and this time again, Dafu steps up brilliantly. This is how you play a post-plant. It's about isolating your fight and making the time work as your best friend, which he does so well. Now, of course, the other name in that hat, and then JDC going aggressive in towards mid. Going to be spotted out. It's a freebie for Bird from Sky. An opening kill for Ecstatic already, and they're gunning desperately for a 10th on the board to really cement this T side. But that's a lovely boost, though.
Really nice boost. Clean stuff. They're looking for a way back in. Xertion, only the one. Not really too impressive. Bird from Sky still living up to that 3-on-3. Still trying to, I guess, give or take that little bit of leeway. MP9 from Shane could be big. Spam is wild, the dink, but nothing more than it. Manx down to 22. Torzy, the orb, it connects, ducks away as Shane finds the other, and it's grand counter-strike. You know, MOUZ NXT up to a 5th now. They are holding on just about so. But from Sky 1-on-3.
Spoke about clutch factor. Dafu, not in the conversation, has to be the IGL to find an ace if he wants to be able to do it, and it's not even going to be given the opportunity. Picked out of the air like duck hunting. Torzy. That's a 5th round on the board from MOUZ NXT, and the question is now, are we going to see a 9-6 half, or the Ecstatic side going to be able to hit that double digits, the all-elusive double digits in the first half? Those pinnacle odds as well, getting ever more in favour of Ecstatic. 1.39, it's getting as close as you can get, really, in this sort of situation, with this sort of pressure. It's that, well, in this David versus Goliath sort of fight, it's so far Goliath on top.
Here you go. Flashes forward, Chewy going aggressive. Round 15, of course, Ecstatic have gone for an investment, but it merely is forced by material. Flash dropped in, he's going for a swing, and, well, all the information in the world, but that's an M4 in the wrong hands. A 5-on-4 and a second gun established for that T side.
Yeah, they're not going to say no, especially when they only have pistols. That's a big overextension there from Shuhei. I understand the idea. They know they have the better firepower and the better economy, but that is a really poor way to play it. All they had to do was wait for the opportunity, and essentially it was about trying not to get overwhelmed, but he himself did a poor decision, loses that man advantage, and now, of course, the pistol, yeah, they're already pistols, but we've seen them at times cause a ruckus.
There you go.
Wow. Yeah,
Speak and he shall deliver.
Yeah, eat your heart out. You got a quad with the Deagle. Oh, how's that for a long shot? Wolfie doesn't need an AWP. All he needs is a hand cannon, apparently.
Now the peaks a hole. Torzy, missed shot. You now look into the eyes of Xertion. His POV means everything. 1 kill is enough. Nearly a second. He's somehow still alive. With all the bullets flinging through that smoke, he's down to 4 points of health. JDC gets deep down on bottom banana. The spam, it's good. It does deny Fasher of a little bit more HP. but it's a 2-on-4 to try and stop Ecstatic for double digits. The smoke is in. Xerxan sits within. Crossfire being held by Manx and Dafu, though, and this one is quite hard to topple. Boost over the top. Torzi thinking about it, thinking about the drop down, but now it's Xerxan, and Manx finds him through the smoke. 10-5 at the half. MOUZ NXT, they're getting trampled on as this half goes on.
I mentioned it earlier. It was tweeted at me during the break by a lovely guy by the name of T. Fantastic analyst. And of course, he mentioned that this map number 3 is all going to be about the first team to have a good T side is going to be the one who wins this one out. And there we go. A fantastic T side coming out from Ecstatic. And that could be enough. 10-5. They only need 6 rounds to get to the Order Losers 16. While it's going to have to be a real uphill battle for MOUZ NXT. 11 rounds needed for Ecstatic to topple at this sort of stage. I mean, it's improbable.
Well, round 16, second pistol, the last pistol of this series. .25, it's an early execute. And well, the utility pouring forward, Bird from Sky going to peek with it, and it's a beautiful first frag. A second as well. Basha, Dafu, all to the tallies. Wow. It's down to Shane. It's a slaughter towards B, and it's MOUZ NXT's the Lambs as they get herded up and shut down. It's 11 on the board for Ecstatic. And well, with the pistol being denied, you have minimal opportunities to get back into this game. And it has to come either within the force buy in this round, or you have to buy in round 18 and make sure you do not slip up.
Yes, Pigs is a slaughterhouse. That slaughterhouse was on that B bomb site. What a round there from Ecstatic to find the momentum early doors in towards the second half. An 11th round connected for them. And they're getting ever so close now. MOUZ NXT has started to feel the pressure, and I think that pressure is getting to the young guns.
All the noise towards middle. The Glocks of MOUZ NXT, I guess, just looking for the damage here. Nothing more than it. Taking their sweet, sweet time. B control established. Lots of information towards middle. They're being herded up already.
Yeah, it's really comfortable here for Ecstatic as well, because they've set these crossfires up, and they've got the early information over towards Banana.
Smoke towards Boil Up, Bird from Sky. Aggressive, he'll find the first. Just looking to mince more money out of that MP9, of course. Dafu, oh, it's all about timing, but he's got Torzi's back turned. Doesn't expect the angle to be held. Xerxan most certainly wouldn't have expected this player to hold and to continue to hold. Manx should be able to cover for his teammate quite nicely. He doesn't. Shui does find one. MP9 will gun him down. M4 saved. You've only lost an SMG in this round. And Ecstatic 4 from victory.
Yeah, not the end of the world, right? Only one going down. And those pinnacle odds getting further and further apart. 1.12 now. Ecstatic really on the brink of closing this one out, and you've got to say deservedly so. It has been a stunning T-side from them, which is also that sort of momentum capitalized upon coming in towards this second half, with now heading into round number 18, them only being 4 rounds away from closing out this series. This has been substantial performance to step up when it needed most. Can they carry it on? No, they can't. It's Torzi who answers back. Manx will fall.
There you have it. At least an advantage established by MOUZ NXT. The HP, though, isn't exactly something to write home about just yet, Neo. Molly dropped in. MOUZ NXT forced back. And, well, there you go. Even though Ecstatic have recognized that they're at a man's disadvantage, they're not done just yet. They're trying to play intuitive Counter-Strike, and it's worked out. Even more damage done to Shui.
Oh, and Xerxan. Wow. Okay. Fashion will fall. Things are looking good, but then Xerxan falls himself. Better for Sky answers back. If you can spam, so can we. And the T-side are taking quite a lot of damage here. This becomes worrisome, right? Because you look at Torzi, 1 bullet and he falls. Shuhei, essentially the same situation. All Ecstatic really have to do is play this like a 3 versus 2.
Waiting for their opportunity here, Neo. Orphy going aggressive on short, just trying to establish any information, any leads, any clues as to what MOUZ NXT are up to. And that Molly isn't exactly a clue, but at least it's information to follow forward. That smoke, however, will keep 2 players towards the A site momentarily. Enough time, of course, now for them to go towards B, try and burn some seconds there. But a great smoke from Bird from Sky to deny. Nade back through, just waiting for the execute. And it comes here and now. JDC leading the charge, but it looks to be Shane that's going to fall, or is he? Whips around for the kill, but all 4 players from MOUZ NXT low HP. A couple of bullets from any M4 will make the difference. Bomb set down, but it's Dafu against it all.
You spoke about the Clutch King. This needs to be a quad kill to his name. Of course, essentially only needs to connect with 4 bullets. But that's a big ask for this sort of situation. I don't think Daffy really understands how low the MOUZ NXT side are, and hence why I think he may just try and opt for exit frags here. There's no way he's going to be able to convert it in this situation with a post-plant setup. I think he's going to safely call for that one. We've seen Simple clutch out a ninja defuse in this position. He does have a kit in hand, but no smoke. I don't think he's going to be able to do exactly that. Dafu going to give up a 6th round over towards MOUZ NXT on their first full buy. It's the MOUZ side who come out on top. Can they continue what was a really nice T-side performance from them? Ecstatic, of course, unfortunately for them, don't really have the economy to support another full buy coming forward. So it might just be pretty much a full eco around this one saved rifle.
So, pause coming out. It's Ecstatic to ring the bell for it. Does surprise me a little bit that they're going to call it so soon, but I guess, you know, when you're heading into a round where your money isn't the prettiest, Neo, just got to talk about things. You know, you're 6 rounds ahead, want to make sure that you don't throw the lead away, maybe like you did in your map pick Vertigo. You know, the conversation would be, and I guess on both sides of the coin, we shouldn't be in a map 3. You know, Ecstatic should have comfortably taken their map pick and then destroyed them on Dust 2. And if MOUZ NXT destroyed them on the opening map, why weren't they able to control their own map pick and they lost 16-2 there?
And sort of as well, the other side of things, interesting enough as well, is that Ecstatic are calling this off the back of now going to go for the full buy coming into this. You see, of course, the IGL of Birth from Sky giving the information, the call of how they want to play it. It's not out of the realms of possibility to convert this, but they're essentially starting at a complete disadvantage from the get-go, especially with the double MP9s against a battle of AKs.
Nade dropped in towards middle early. Wolfie, he'll only establish a sub 10 HP lead. In their time, just the spam coming through. Fasha, nicely done. He will catch Torzi, so a 5-on-4 established. Ecstatic, with the limited riflery that they do have here, Neo, they have found themselves the early lead.
Yeah, working in their favour. They could be able to put it down as well. Manx has got a sound cue, and Wolfie's baiting him with the MP. No, that's brilliantly played. Takes a thing from his teammate, not the end of the world, but JDC finds a tray. Look for the second, we'll be able to connect as well. Wolfie's going to fall back to 3 versus 3, but takes significant damage in doing so. And the AK finds the full blind Dafu.
Well, here we are. Bit of a weird one, ring around the rosies. Bomb set down. Smoke in the face of Bird from Sky. 1v2, nice shot, JDC, he's going to deliver. And it is 7-12. MOUZ NXT, one hell of a comeback required, but it is now very much possible. You've wiped out the full buy here of Ecstatic, excuse me. They are now down to the eco. Of course, the odds over at Pinnacle ever shifting. Of course, if you're going to go and check them out, you have to be 18+, but of course you can sign up using code MALTA21 to get a 100% deposit bonus up to €100. So make sure to go and check it out.
Stunning stuff. 12-7, only, well, 5 rounds, right? It's not definitely the end of the world, but MOUZ NXT on our T side need a real good run of form. But this is their time to find it. Ecstatic, a full eco for them, sticking on the 2k mark. Only the USPs coming in, no utility, no armor. This should be an easy mop-up. And for Ecstatic, the only silver lining or lifeline they want to find is maybe a little bit expensive or a rifle, if they can, which they are going to. JDC going to fall immediately. Manksky starts things with Shuhei on cleanup duties here, calling the janitors. He's one by one, picking them apart and mopping them up. And the PT50 going to be the one to finish things off. It got a little bit dicey, start things off. JDC fell, but then, there we go. Came back to how it should be. 12-8. On Ecstatic, that long lead is ever so slowly falling away.
So, 12-8. You said the lead's starting to slip a little bit here. But it is very, very possible to just get things straight. It's the full buy here from Ecstatic to deliver the difference. 2 FAMASs though, Neo. Utility, yes, it's good, but those rifles, they can mean a key part. We'll have to wait and see how they deal with it heading into round 21, and a chance for MOUZ NXT to make it 9.
Yeah, what can they do here as well? Trying to find something at the very least. Wolfie in towards the car, but Smoke will keep him at bay. And he's waiting. Is he going to preempt a couple of shots here? He might even be tempted to do so. Click that mouse one. He could find something. He's still waiting and holding, though. He's just going to play off contact. There we go.
Spam. Big spam. Desertion down to 21. Dafu's found the opener. So you've established the 180-point lead. And another kill comes in. Fasha aggressive towards B. And Torzy's just swinging, expecting the trade, but nothing from it. Fasha, Houdini-esque plays. He just runs away. Waits for the smoke to fade before he even re-peeks in towards Banana. A 5-on-3. JDC's taken some damage from the side. And it's gone from bad to worse for MOUZ NXT. They have been royally destroyed on short. JDC at least to show some normality. The spam in. Shane can't find anything from Mini Pit. Down to a 2-on-4. Wolfie catches the aggression from JDC. Orpa missed shot. Torzy got to find it all. Another missed one to add to the tally. The A1S looking to trade. Nothing from it.
Yeah, I think you can really start to see now MOUZ NXT are panicking. They're being chipped away. It starts off the back of a brilliant spray down from Wolfie, drawing attention back over towards Long, and then that's when the playoff contact comes through from short. It's stunning. Ecstatic are playing this CT side very, very well, and MOUZ NXT are starting to really panic, as you can see. I mean, how often do you see Torzy miss 2 free shots there in AWP? Very, very rarely in that case, and that's when you can see this mental game of Ecstatic being just that tad bit stronger, because MOUZ NXT, while they are fantastic players, in the top 30 in the world, putting up really good performances. I mean, I think I'm right in saying this is their 101st series ever, right? So, you know, they're still fresh, but they've been putting up a real big name for themselves. It still goes back to the same thing that you said right at the start of this. They've got an average age of just over 18. They're still kids. And because of that, you can start to see the lack of experience playing forward when it comes to the Battle of Fatigue on map number 3. 13-8. 5-round lead once again, and everything looking very, very good if you are Ecstatic. And if you want your imagery looking very, very good, you can check out lovely partners at Hellcase. Click the banner below the stream. And of course, you can find all your skins needs.
Ecstatic 13-8, 3 from victory. And the responsibility for MOUZ NXT starts to add up. And of course, that's where the youth of this side sometimes can cause problems. Is, you know, maybe not as used to these situations. Yes, individually, as we touched on, you know, the histories being within Azako Boars, the histories of BP5, the Unicorns of Love, of course, for JDC. But actually, the experience in this Tier 2 scene, I guess sort of bleeding into the top end of Tier 2 as well, minimal.
I'm loving to start to see this big step up from Tier 2, right? I mean, this is the early door signs for Ecstatic. A bit of Sky, fantastic, spamming through. Shoes going to fall, takes a good amount of nade damage as he tries to add more to his tally. And at this point, it's just chip damage or whatever else he can add. Manx will be tested over towards Long, though.
5 seconds. Man advantage, yes, to Ecstatic, but of course, MOUZ NXT looking to turn things around. Double long play, in fact, they're going towards CT. This isn't an A play. This is an all-out B flank. Fasha waiting for it, gathers the information. Up close and personal with the AK is how quick he can find the frags and how much Bird from Sky can assist. A smoke in the face and a nice shot from Torzy to kick things off. Now the 4-on-4, kept competitive with a shot through that smoke.
Oh, yeah, it is, right? And now, if this bomb can go down, that starts to change things. Fashion nearly lines them up. That became dicey. As back to a 3 versus 3, and this retake means everything. If MOUZ NXT are able to deny, they've got a lifeline.
Waiting, Torzy. Nice shot. 3-on-2. Bomb ticking away, and there you go. Ecstatic want nothing to do with it. It's going to be a night on the board for MOUZ NXT. The gap is down to 4 once again, Neo. It is possible, but the improbability, of course, is higher than that of the probability of MOUZ NXT winning this.
Yeah, exactly.
We just have to wait and see.
Oof, but that's a good post blind at the very least. You got to give them that sort of credit, right? Nice play from MOUZ NXT off the back of that second shot to the man advantage from Torzy, and then from there everything just fell into place. Ecstatic made the smart decision just to fall away, and it's probably the way to play it as well, right? There's no need to do anything too overzealous, especially with their long-term economy not being the most fruitful. It's not the end of the world. They'll be able to have gone by, but they're playing for the long game because they know they can afford to as well. You sort of mentioned it, right? You know, if you look at the probabilities at the moment, it still is in favour of Ecstatic. Hence why they want to play long term, right? There's no need to go for an overzealous 2 versus 3 retake where if they lose, they're left with no rifles. You're going to slow things down. And by slowing things down, they're going to call for attack timeout.
Absolutely. Round 23. 13-9. A chance for MOUZ NXT to make it double digits. And of course, Ecstatic, as we said, don't want to get ahead of themselves. Really have to dial down everything. You can see, right, even though, yes, it is the Ecstatic pause, no point not being vocal about it. JDC, Mr. Castro himself, he's going to be launching some ideas at the boys. And of course, Mike's on for the coaches as well. They get their say. Cyclone chucking in his views maybe. you know, they are still down. They've still got to figure out how these guys are playing. And they know that it's possible. They know it's very possible. It was 12-6 at one point. You know, it's now 13-9. Yes,
Precisely.
you know, you've only gained a couple of rounds, but actually four rounds in a row is a lot more manageable than 6.
No, you've hit the nail on the head. Absolutely spot on. 13-9. A 4-round lead, it's still very good if you're over towards Ecstatic, but it's not the end of the world for MOUZ NXT to be able to chip this one away, right? Talk about that's one eco essentially working in their favour, and of course breaking that economy once, giving them the room to find a reset. The question is, how can they? As it is still definitely that battle of fatigue. Of course, our first 2 maps were not by any means marathon. 16-1 and 16-4, they were pretty quick as they come, but of course mentally draining in terms of having to reset off the back of that, and that's why this map number 3 is all the more exciting. That's a full buy both ways.
Util being dropped in, Molly as well to the hands of Xertion. Flash is thrown, a lot of that utility being burnt early towards B. We'll wait and see how things go now. Molly dropped forward. Xertion swinging in, and it's a freebie. It's a real freebie. The Molly to isolate, and well, it's an easy frag for the AK, or is it for Fasher? A double spray down towards B, denying the advantage, and in fact, throwing things right back in the faces of MOUZ NXT. It could be a 14th on the board for the Dane.
This could be actually the one that they've turned in their favour somehow. It looked brilliant, right? MOUZ NXT got off to a good start, but JDT doesn't clear the boost. Orbshot finds one. Fasher's going to fall, and he spotted the second, in fact. But they still know the bomb is posted up. Now back to 2 versus 2. What can Shane do here?
Oh my God.
What he does do is he finds Wolfie. No way they turn this around.
This is it, a 1-on-2 situation. Smoke in the way. Dafu knows that the bomb's here. They've got to take face, but Dafu's found the frag. Now Shane has to make the treacherous run back towards the bomb. 40 seconds. He's not going to come from middle. He's coming from spawn, or is he? It's all a mind game. He's trying to make the noise, and he's done so. Oh, this is bliss.
Beautiful.
He's faked him out completely. He's moving towards the headshot position. No one here to deny. Dafu has a feeling. He has a suspicion, but Shane is just more on point. 13-10, and MOUZ NXT kept in it.
Dafu time and time again being put in a clutch situation, but this time not able to find it when it was needed most. That could have been the ceiling factor. If they find that, then that could have been all that she wrote, but not going to be the case. And it's Pinnacle odds ever changing. 1.35, getting a little bit closer. Of course, if you still have faith in MOUZ NXT, you can have it to Pinnacle. 100 deposit bonus up to €100 when you sign up using the code MALTA21. 10.gg/bets100.
Oh, okay. Nade stack. Nice, nice. Still a bit of a challenge because the USPs have found more. Shuey has to drop the smoke. Finds one. Looking for another. And, well, there you have it. It is done. 2 kills on an eco, though. Not bad at all.
2 rounds in it as well. 2 kills on eco is not bad, but it's, the big thing is there's now only 2 rounds in it. 3 consecutive rounds picked up, and it's showing now that actually both of these 2 sides, who were in maps number 1 and 2, terrible on their T sides. Nothing was showing from either of them, and now, of course, we're heading towards Inferno, and weirdly enough, in the hand of God, it's changed hands. The T side is where both of these 2 sides are showing up massively, and their CT sides are showing real signs of weakness. 11-13, and this game has still got a lot left in it. Ooh.
A bit of early damage. The exchange towards B continues. Still not all that one-sided affair just yet. It's still that little bit back and forth action. Time. Smoke dropped. Patient, waiting. Nothing towards B just yet. Advocated, double nades. Manx waiting for the A pause pop maybe. But Ecstatic, they've got themselves deep B control, and now MOUZ NXT forced to go towards A.
Though, making their way forward. Still 5 versus 5 as well. Not the end of the world. Shu's taking a real point of damage. It's a beautiful flash, though. It's not even a... It's a team flash, in fact. Oh, that's a rookie error. Nearly caught in transition as well, as Fasher adds more to his tally. Shane will fall, and one by one, that's such a weird way and a tough way for MOUZ NXT to lose that. That was Shuhi's team flash, which dropped JDC, full blinded him, left him in the open on long, and a freebie over towards Dafu, who actually ended up netting 2.
Bomb is set down, 2-on-4. And a big retake needs to be denied. First kill found. Torzi does enough at least to deny the numbers game being completely in favor of Ecstatic. It's still that 2-on-3, and the AWP not done just yet as it tries to go aggressive, and now Shui, a 4K with a deagle earlier, put us on our highest edge. Can he find a 1-on-3? X-rays off, nothing in his way just yet. Patiently waiting for his opportunity. Listening to the noise, the sound cues, and he will find one. Spots it. Great flash, though, in response. He doesn't think that they're on it. He didn't hear the defuse, and there you have it. Shui, he might swing after time. It doesn't matter. Ecstatic to 14. MOUZ NXT still within 3, but the comeback just becomes that little bit harder.
Yeah, that's brutal as well. And of course, you look forward for MOUZ NXT. If they lose this round and they fail to get a bomb down, their long-term economy is shattered. And that could be it. This is essentially the all-important round. They have to deny 15 here. Failure to convert, and that's their game done. Not even just their game, not even just their map. That's their tournament done. As Ecstatic will pull away and move into that grand final to make it that Danish derby. We'll have to wait and see. Flashing towards mid. Wolfie looking for the early peak, not going to find anything. Exertion forced back by the Molotov.
A little more careful. Utility being dropped in. Flash gives JDC passage towards apartments, but from Sky's util has been nothing shy of perfect this game. Now just waiting for the opportunity maybe to see the response happen. Manx having none of it, drops the molly in, will get naded as well. Shane down to 50 points of health. He merely back away. Ecstatic getting such a good advantage. Oh, wow.
Ooh. Big amount of nade damage. And of course, not only have Ecstatic on a man advantage here, JDC and Shane, as we've already spoke about, taking that huge amount of utility damage, and because of that, have to be extra cautious. And that's when MOUZ NXT start to falter a little bit, when they are undecisive.
He spams in. JDC, he's found the mark. Nicely done. 4-on-4 scenario. Peek in, JDC another, Shui a third, and all of a sudden turn back on its head. Yes, the HP lead was there, but they just can't quite hold on to it. 2-on-3. Third from Sky and Fashion now have to make up the numbers, and by the looks of things, they want nothing to do with it. It's going to be a 12 on the board for MOUZ NXT. We continue to go the distance here, Neo.
And not only that, the other side of the stick with Ecstatic. Look, the economy is terrible. Hence why Bird from Sky and Fashion went for that early call for a save. They know that they can't afford to give up this sort of round, and on top of that, give up the weapons that they've already got. The AWP, there's no chance of another investment of an AWP coming through from Ecstatic into the next round. So Bird from Sky makes the very smart call to just fall away. You're going to give it back to Wolfie, who so far has been a beast in the server, 23 and 13. And use that as a lifeline to success going forward. But once again, MOUZ NXT make this a 2-round affair, and what a map number 3 we've had so far.
Crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. Here we are. To round 27. Ooh. And if you thought things weren't close enough already, this is more than close now. This is as intense as you could get it. 14-12. Ecstatic, yes, in the lead by 2, but MOUZ NXT, one win here will put them to 14 all.
Be aggressive with the AWP as well. This is so smart. He hasn't given away the sound cue either. So they're not going to expect him to be up close and personal. Shotgun AWPing, and I love to see it. And Manx, ever so passive in his nature, but JDC seems to be slightly aware.
Oh. Well, aware is the man, of course, the German. Wait and see. The time, man. It's always been a problem, you know. It's always been something that MOUZ NXT trying to wind down and force a peak. This time it works out, you know. The Germans found the advantage. JDC's put up another kill, laid it out on a silver platter for us to enjoy. Ecstatic now got to claw back the numbers.
Oh, and this could be a good way to do it. A quick trade coming forward, though. Still keeps them an advantage in favour of MOUZ NXT, but significant damage dealt over towards JDC so far. It's not the end of the world, as they are double stacking over towards the correct side.
Oh, wow. Nice shot, Wolfie. Still burning within the flames, has to move wide, and in turn, MOUZ NXT were trying to capitalise from it. They do. Shame for one. Torzi and Shui out on short. It's a nice frag for the rifler. The AWP still kicking as well. The bomb's set down. They're going to hear the movement. Shui back and forth. Guz get denied. Torzi's pistol. Oh my God, Fasha. When you need it to turn up, it is to the maximum for Ecstatic. 15-12. And one more to the finish line. The reverse sweep is so close and yet so far for the NXT boys, as the buy is made of the scraps of their former economy. It's no longer booming. It is just about surviving.
No way is that the way it's clutched out. Fascia, we spoke about MVPs coming into this game, and in that 1v1, it was the battle of the MVPs, and Fascia comes out on top. 27 kills to his name, and what a way to do it. 15 collected. Ecstatic, one round away from closing out not only the map, but the series, and making it that all-Danish derby. As MOUZ NXT, they're left with one of the most uncomfortable buys with so much on the line.
Well, will they fare?
Hang on a second.
This is it. This smoke means everything. If Shane can find this early advantage, that's sweet. If Manx does, it's even better. Well, there you go. Ecstatic, 5-on-4. Gifted the early man. It's a rifle out of the hands, of course, of MOUZ NXT. It's a last-ditch effort towards A. It's a kill for Xertion. Back and forth, though. Galil from Pit. Manx with a third. A fourth frag as well. Torzy against the odds. And it is done. It is dusted. And it is over. It is the comeback of dream for Ecstatic. Get absolutely demolished on their map pick 16-1. They demolish MOUZ NXT on their home turf 16-2. And yes, it does go a fair distance, but they make it work as close as you like. It is 16-12.
Well, if you ever wanted a birthday present for Wolfie, there it is. His 23rd birthday, and what he's netted with is the comeback of dreams, as you mentioned, from 16-1 on their best map, statistically speaking, to turn things round. And in the dying members of an Inferno map number 3, they come out on top. What a performance from Ecstatic. They net themselves a grand final place against that of Copenhagen Flames. The all-Danish derby, as we've spoken about, and this one is going to be ever, ever exciting. Stunning. Absolutely stunning. And for MOUZ NXT, when it came down to it, it just seemed like they ever so slightly lacked in terms of experience in those latter stages.
Yeah, Dust 2, I think, is inexcusable. Inferno was a really good effort, but you've got to turn to your map 2 there and you know, have the internal discussion. Why pick Dust 2 and why are we only able to get 4 rounds against Ecstatic? Definitely the conversation they'll be having. And in terms of the series, that's it. KO'd, of course. Unfortunate to not claim the extra $5,000, winning the semi-finals. And MOUZ NXT knocked out in top 4. Still a valiant attempt from them. And a great event once more for these boys that are just proving Tier 2 is their home turf. Ecstatic, though, the extra 5,000 in their back pocket take their total to 9,000. And, of course, they're moving forward to the grand finals, as we'll see in just a second here against the Flames. What a run from these guys. 2-0 for Copenhagen Flames against Dignitas. Ecstatic charging up a ridiculous comeback against MOUZ NXT. And it's a derby of the Danes heading into the grand final.
Yeah, I'm getting like the adrenaline come down now. I mean, that was just the most action-packed map number 3. And what a way to seal it out. We already said that as well. And Inferno's the perfect place to seal this sort of fate, right? It has to be a map number 3 map of all the ones to go to. And Inferno, like the Boston Major, just so substantial. And there we go. What a semi-finals that was. And that leads us, as you mentioned, to our grand finals, of course. Ecstatic Copenhagen Flames. What a game that is going to be. Absolutely brilliant. Stunning.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure to join you alongside this one, Retro. What a game. That's going to be one of the most fun better 3s we've done, maybe ever. I mean, that's just absolutely stunning. 16-1's kickstarted. We thought it was done there and then. MOUZ NXT, fantastic start on their opponent's map pick. And then 16-4 map number 2. And, well, there we go. Map number 3. But that's us done and dusted here at the Malta Vibes for this tournament. It's been brilliant. Of course, grand finals to come up as our last remaining game.
Tomorrow.
Any final words, Retro?
Yeah, tomorrow, man. Grand finals time. You've got to be here for it. The Danish derby, as we explained, all the more for it. And I'm super stoked to be sitting in chat and watching that one through, Neo. But as you said, that's us two done for today, and actually the stream in general done for today. The grand finals tomorrow, you have to tune in to watch it. Ecstatic versus Copenhagen Flames. You do not want to miss the action. Make sure to drop a follow here on the channel to not miss it. But we'll see you guys tomorrow with the grand finals.